And welcome into the Thursday edition. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Big Joe Dubin, Ian Safar here with you on this Thursday morning, presented by Green Ventures Landscaping. For homes and businesses that want to stand out, not blend in, visit greenventureslandscaping.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership with a buzz. Is always about great service. Big Joe, good morning.
What's happening, man? It's a great day. 2 weeks from the day, I think training camp opens up the 23rd, so we're good to go. But you are in cloud nine right now, man, because of something that's happened far, far away.
You should have seen Big Joe's face when he walked in and he looked up and he was like, oh, Robby's watching golf live at 6 o'clock in the morning. The Scottish Open taking place. The sun's out in Scotland, which may be the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah, if you would have said, where is this taking place? I'd be like, Pebble Beach, West Palm. I've never, like you said earlier, I've never seen the sun shine in Scotland.
But it's good to know that it can, all right? That's confirmation that it can out there. I'm the only person around here that enjoys watching golf. I've got Ian into it a little bit, but.
Yeah,
Joe hates it.
I'll watch the Big Four, and if Tiger was playing, I'd watch that, but now no, man.
I get it. I do. I get it. It's just one of my sicknesses.
How do you feel about is Live Golf done?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think they're going to be in big trouble.
Were you not happy with Live Golf? They come
not very. Yeah, I just don't. I'd like all the best players to play together all the time. That'd be great.
Well, I mean, maybe it'll happen again.
I think it's going to at some point, but it looks like that one's coming to an end.
But some of those guys made a lot of money.
They sure did. A lot of money.
It's beautiful, the shot they're showing on TV, but I mean, I would worry about the wind, right? Come whipping off the.
You would think so.
Whatever. Is that the Atlantic? I don't even know. Right?
That would be the Atlantic.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
I can pick Scotland on a map, though. I can do that.
That's good. A lot of people probably can't.
I can do that.
That's at McGavick Education. You know?
It is, right?
They train you right down there at McGavick.
I do know that Scotland does not have the leprechaun.
Yeah, exactly.
You were too young to remember the Saturday Night Live skit with Mike Myers called All Things Scottish.
Yeah.
He ran the Scottish store, and people would come in like, I'm looking for about a 2-foot-tall leprechaun. He'd be like, oh, leprechauns, they're Irish. This is All Things Scottish. And he'd scream at him and throw him out of the stores. Such a dumb skit, but it was hilarious.
Some of those dumb skits are the best ones, though. They don't require you to think all that much. It's just funny.
Yeah, I came across one the other day. It probably it's the more cowbell one, right?
Yeah,
it's been done and over, but Chris Parnell in that skit is from Germantown, Tennessee. I had no idea. He's got some podcasts he's on. It was great talking about getting through that skit and not laughing because think about it, Will Ferrell, Jimmy Fallon, Chris Kattan, Horatio Sands, and then him, and just an icon, and Christopher Walken, right? Just an iconic skit.
I think some of the funniest times though are when they do break. It's pretty funny. Like when you see them just breaking and trying to hold it in.
Well,
on the air.
The Lindsay Lohan Disney World one. I mean, that is just with Debbie Downer. I mean, that is one of the classics because they can't hold it together. And Fallon's done. I mean, it's one of the greatest skits of all time.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Ian Safar, good morning. How we doing?
Good morning. Doing just fine. Thanks. Another beautiful day. Not too hot yesterday. It was a nice day yesterday. A little
bit
of
of rain last night.
Yeah.
Good Lord. And it's supposed to rain all weekend too. So
yeah, feels like Florida a little bit around here where it's like nice and warm and hot and all of a sudden you get your afternoon shower come through. But yeah, doing good. Pretty chill day yesterday. Hanging out with the fam outside. I'm keeping an eye on golf. I was telling Robby this morning, got me a little new golf set myself from my brother-in-law. Sent me up a new set of irons.
Nice.
And new bag. So yeah, I'm getting ready to hit the links sometime, maybe once a year.
I mean, I have at least seen Big Joe out on the golf course playing golf. Rexrode won't do it. He just won't.
No, not at all.
He won't do it. Like, you won't even step on the driving range.
Well, my cousins own Hermitage Golf Course.
Yeah.
And so they're all, I come from a very good family except for me, and I am awful. And my golf bag is from 1992. I have launched 2 clubs into the Hermitage pond. I have a 4-iron that's over there, which I don't know why I ever hit a 4-iron, and then a 7-iron was launched into the pond.
Do you ever send any scuba team to retrieve these, or are they still sitting
there? They're still sitting there.
That's good.
They're just throwing them in there. I get mad doing golf, and I'm like, but the thing about golf is it's always the last 2 holes you birdie.
Yeah.
So it's
Keeps you coming back.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Maybe I got something.
Yeah.
And you don't.
I always tell people, like, it doesn't take a whole lot for me. I hit about 2 or 3 good shots in a round. I'm like, yeah, I'll be back. Don't worry.
I got this.
Even if I hit 94 of them that are awful.
All right.
2 or 3.
I will say a birdie is makes you feel good, like a real birdie.
It does.
Not like kick the ball up on the green, but a real birdie. Now, I've had several of those, not a lot, and it feels really because you accomplished something you never thought you would. But to see these guys do it every single day, but again, that's their job.
Exactly.
If I golfed every single day, I should be able to make birdies on the regular.
I would hope so. But it's very difficult. Very difficult sport. We got a lot going on the program today. Jill Jelnick from Fox 17 will be with us at 7:30. We will get into all things Titans with her. Charles Robinson will be with us at 8 o'clock. Get into all things NFL with him. So looking forward to that. The best and worst things in sports coming up later this hour at 6:45. So we will go ahead and take your best things and your worst things on the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. I have totally with you, Joe. Like I'm done with the World Cup. I tried, after the Argentina game the other day, I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. I vowed to myself that I wouldn't really get into this because there's just not a whole lot going on. And I know that there's a game coming up tonight. And my wife and I were talking about it's France and Morocco. First off, I think France is just going to roll. But she was like, you going to watch this tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, I just don't think so. I don't think I'm going to. I really had the intentions of doing it yesterday and, preparing tonight to sit down and watch France and Morocco or this afternoon, whenever they play. Yeah, I think it's 3 o'clock this afternoon. I just don't think I'm going to be able to do it.
Well, we had 27 straight days of soccer. It was fun and watching all that, but I'm like.
Yeah, Kowarski acted like he was at a funeral yesterday because it wasn't happening.
Right. I mean, I had 2 games a day and I was able to watch it. I was like, no, I'm good, man. It became background noise a little bit. So not in a bad way. And so it's going to be that way now, but I'm not making any plans to do that. Although I would like to visit Morocco one day. I can't pick it out on a map. I know it's somewhere over there. But, we'll see what happens. But I'm good. We'll see. Because it ends next Sunday, the 19th.
That is correct.
USA. And now, by the way, I'm fascinated by your drink of choice. You have coffee.
It's not good.
Then you have a Diet Coke. Then you got a Coke. So does the Coke offset the Diet Coke?
Oh, this is Coke Zero. So it's Coke Zero in there.
Okay.
So it's still no calorie.
Okay, good.
But every now and then I've got to do the coffee to wake myself up.
I get it.
And then I drink way too much Diet Coke and Coke Zero anyway.
So I went down a deep dive on Instagram reel. This guy's got about blood sugar and he drank 4 Coke Zeros in 30 minutes to see if it would spike his blood sugar. He waited an hour, 0.
Yeah.
Did nothing to him.
Yeah, exactly.
So it just gives me more of my credence to go out and drink Coke Zero.
As a type 1 diabetic, anytime I can find drinks that do not affect my blood sugar,
right?
Cool with it, man.
And as a type 2 diabetic, I'm the same way with all that goes on. So yeah, Coke Zero. But I'm fascinated by your choices over here.
Yeah, I mean, the other option would be pull a Rexrode and go through 6 cups of coffee per show. And I max out at about 2. I can't do more than 2.
Oh, no. Which is a great question. What can't you quit? I've tried to quit Diet Coke. I've tried. And I did for about 6 months, but I can't. It pulls you. It's like Al Pacino in The Godfather 3, man. Yeah. It pulls you back in. You try to leave, but it pulls you back in, and I can't get away from it.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a vice of mine. It's probably not good how much Diet Coke I drink.
Right. And all these things, it's not good for you. I'm like, but right now it's really good for me.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
I'm not worried about 2031. Right now it's perfect.
And then I start thinking about it too. I'm like, there are a lot of things right now that are way worse for me too that I'm not doing.
Exactly. So, right.
It all evens out at the end of the day, I think.
All of it does. So it's I like this, right? Did you bring that from home? Or did you get it out of the vending machine here?
Oh, I brought it from home.
Okay.
Vending machine here can get a little
dicey
sometimes.
I had my Reese's cup get stuck, and which I should be eating them anyway. It got stuck, and I'm shaking the vending machine, and Frazier was like, "You're the Hulk. I've never seen this side of you." I'm like, "Those are my Reese's cups, and they're stuck." So you really so the line is you truly don't know anybody until you see something they need stuck in a vending machine.
Yeah,
then they become crazy.
Oh yeah, it's insane. Yeah, it is amazing to me. Yeah, I've talked about this before. We can launch missiles to pinpoint spots around the world. we can't get a vending machine to work. Like a vending machine can't take $1 or it can't get a Reese's cup to come out. It's amazing to me.
Right. It's that great meme too of like we have a telescope that can shoot 80 million miles into space and have a clear shot of a galaxy, yet we can't have a picture of a guy who robs a bank walking out with a camera 3 feet in front of his face.
Somebody on YouTube says Diet Coke makes your hair fall out. Let me tell you, my hair was out long before I started drinking
I haven't
Diet
had
Coke.
hair in 35 years. I'm good.
Yeah. If that's the side effect, fine.
Right.
Cool with it, man.
That's right. I tell guys all the time when they're doing the comb over, I'm like, just go. They're like, well, I'm like, look, I make fun of you with the comb over. Just go ball. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
God has given you a beautiful head, man. Just shave it all off. You'll be fine. You know where I got that from? I got it from Bruce Willis years ago because he was doing that. And Bruce Willis says, one day I just woke up and I shaved my head. He goes, and I felt so empowered. Like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
I'm like, good for you, man.
Oh, I look back on photo. Like, my hair was in full retreat at like age 18. And then I look back on photos. And, I wasn't like actively trying to just keep it around, but I just did until I was at 23, 24. And met my then girlfriend, now wife. And she's like, yeah, hey, man.
Just shave it off?
Just go and take that off.
Are you the only bald guy in your family?
No, I mean Ryan is my middle brother. My dad basically is. So
okay,
yeah, it runs.
All right, I'm the only bald guy in my family.
Are you really?
In both sides, the only bald guy.
But you're also the best looking.
Damn straight I am, right?
Best looking,
and a hand model. So I mean, I've got it going on, right? So I'm happy with a lot of things in my life.
That's right. We're off and running on Robby and Rexrode, taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Rexrode on vacation this week. Again, haven't heard from him, so we'll see what happens.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I want to get your thoughts and the rest of the day. And I love this question that you pose. We pose every once in a while. Who is your all-time favorite quarterback? Your all-time. I know we go through this all the time, but with camp approaching in 2 weeks, I've always want to know because it's generational.
Sure.
Like your all-time favorite quarter, and not a quarterback that like you got a 2-minute drive, you're down 4. Who do you? No. A quarterback. Who is your all-time favorite quarterback?
We will get into that coming up next. Some other quarterback storylines I want to get into coming up next as well. It feeds right into it. We'll get into all that. Best and worst in sports already rolling in. Keep them coming. We'll get to that at 6:45. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Big Joe Dubin, Ian Safar here with you on this Thursday morning. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Big Joe throwing it out there. Who's your favorite quarterback of all time to watch? It doesn't have to mean best, by the way.
Right.
Who's your favorite?
And I'm like I said, I'm curious about this because it's a generational thing. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, but if I had one quarterback, I mean, I love Dan Marino.
Yeah.
I love it. Was like, well, he didn't win a Super Bowl. I get that. Just watch the documentary on him, and all these people talk about his release, his command of the game, how he fit the balls in there when nobody else could do that. He's just remarkable. And the fact that he slid in the draft because all the teams thought he was doing cocaine because his roommate got busted or popped for coke. He's like, I never did drugs, and they couldn't convince him.
Yeah.
The Steelers passed on him. And the Dolphins, Don Shula, like, I can't believe he's sitting in our lap. We take him. The guy the Steelers drafted a year or two later was paralyzed in a car crash for going like 1,000 miles an hour. So, but give me Marino all day, every day, and I just think he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah, I've got two answers to this. Rodgers is my first one. Like, prime Aaron Rodgers is pretty unbelievable. Some of the stuff that he was able to do out there. I'll give you another one that, I mean, it's not close to the same style of player, but every now and then was just so much fun to watch. And I mean, even go back to college at Virginia Tech, he was unbelievable. And somebody actually already texted in about this. Vic, like Michael Vick was, just electrifying, man. Like if he'd take off running,
right,
he was one of the most electrifying players in the history of the league. It's unbelievable.
But his arm was so underrated.
He could throw it 85 yards.
Right, he could do that.
Yeah, like it was unbelievable.
I remember him played Florida State in the national championship in '99, and Virginia Tech was in command of that game, and FSU ends up winning. But remember Bowden talking about, he's like, we've seen tape, we've seen him play, but when you play against him, it's a whole different world.
No, it is. It's a whole different world. We got a vote for Cam Newton on YouTube, another vote for Marino, McNair, a lot of quarterbacks rolling in. Like, fun to watch. Like, that's the thing, because I think there are a lot of quarterbacks that have been really good.
Yeah.
That aren't necessarily fun to watch, right? Like, I don't know. You tell me. I mean, Peyton Manning was fun to watch because of like how in control he was.
Yeah.
But like Peyton Manning, a lot of times wasn't like he was doing spectacular things out there.
Right.
He was just so prepared and so dialed in to what the defense was doing that he always had the answer to the test. Like, for instance, like watching Peyton Manning play a game and watching Steve McNair play the game or Michael Vick play the game or Aaron Rodgers play the game, it wasn't the same. It's very different in the way that they play.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of quarterback. There's a lot of different styles that can work.
We had Rondé Barber on the show. Chase I did about 2 years ago. And we talked the same about Peyton. And I said, who's the best quarterback? He's like, it's Peyton. He goes, we played him one time. And I go, they go line of scrimmage, and Peyton looks at me and says, hey, Rondé, shouldn't you be over there?
Yeah.
and I said, well, how did you react? He's like, I froze. Because he was right.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the hell do you know where I'm supposed to be at the line of scrimmage? And then that was the Monday night game when Peyton came back and beat them.
Yeah.
They're down 28 to whatever it was, 28-7, and they won the game. The Colts did. But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of votes for that. But I just, for some reason, Marino's my guy, man. I love watching him play.
I mean, look, I will tell you, as somebody who was growing up when this was happening, it was a very short-lived window. And there wasn't a whole lot of good to it, but the good was pretty darn good. I mean, Vince, when he was like some of the comebacks he had. Yeah, like
I remember that.
The comeback he had against Arizona, the Houston overtime run. Like he had some fun moments, man. And I know, it didn't go well and ultimately not a great pick.
But I think they overcoached him.
Yeah.
I really, really think they overcoached him because they tried to make him into a pocket passer, and he's not a pocket passer. And I've always said he's the greatest open field runner I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Nobody could stop him. And it was that Houston game in overtime in 2006 that he did that. The Giants game, the comeback.
Giants game.
Just let
he threw the touchdown. The Arizona game was Kenny Britt.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Back of the
I was
end
actually
zone
at that game.
Yeah.
That was 2009. It's a 99-yard drive down the field. You know why? Every time they let him just play, he was great. But he also had a lot of problems inside his head as far as preparation and things. But pure physical play, he was brilliant. Brilliant.
Somebody says Jameis Winston, their favorite quarterback to watch. He's up there for me. I mean, the 30 for 30 year for Winston when he had 30 touchdowns and 30 picks, It's one of the most amazing things in the history of the league.
Oh yeah, was that with the Bucks?
It was the year before Brady got there. Yeah, it was the Bucks. And
so
it was 2019.
Okay.
He threw like 30 touchdowns, 30 picks, and like 5,000 yards.
And it's funny about Winston. You read about teammate. They love him.
Oh, they love him.
They absolutely love that guy.
Yeah. I mean, I love watching him. It's hilarious. I mean, I think he's awesome. So,
I mean, he did win a national championship and a Heisman Trophy in college.
He did
on a very loaded FSU team, and it was he was good. He just didn't. You got to go with the right fit, and it just wasn't the right fit in Tampa for him for a while.
Loppy on the YouTube chat says, "I hate to say this, but Aaron Rodgers in his prime, pretty fun to watch." How about this one? And this goes back to college. K-Dot on the YouTube chat saying Johnny Manziel, pretty fun to watch in college.
That 2012 season, the game against Alabama,
it was unbelievable.
The one they smacked the ball out of his hands, he's running around there.
Look, I will freely admit that when he got drafted to Cleveland, I thought he was going to be really, really good in the NFL. Now, it turns out there's a whole lot of stuff going on with Johnny Manziel I think we probably knew about at the time, but more has been uncovered since then. So it's not a surprise that it didn't work out. But I after watching him in A&M, I was like, yeah, this guy's going to be
well,
good.
That interview he had recently, he's like, yeah, I never watched a second of film. I'm like,
yeah, that's a problem.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I wanted in 14. I was hoping the Titans would take him. They had no quarterback. They took Lewan in that draft. Like, why not get a little spark to the franchise? I mean, it would have been a terrible pick, but what he did in 2012 at A&M as a redshirt freshman was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Nobody could stop it.
Well, and like that, he was, Mike Evans was with him there from A&M. And then you look at the player Mike Evans has turned into, and you go back and look at some of the plays that Manziel made, and a whole lot of them are to Mike Evans. You're like, well, maybe Mike Evans is pretty darn good.
Absolutely.
Like,
he was great. I'll tell you a funny story about Cam Newton. Cam Newton was at Florida, backed up Tebow. And then a friend of mine was coaching the game, and then Tebow came out. Cam Newton came on the field, and my friend went to the other coach and said, that's the biggest defensive end I've ever seen in my life. The power. And they're like, no, that's the backup quarterback. Yeah. He's like, what? How come we didn't? He's like, because Tebow's not going to go out of the game. He's not going to play at all. And so Cam Newton ended up in a little trouble at Florida.
He did.
Went to JUCO, and they came back. And in the 2010 season with Cam in the SEC, might have been the most dominating season of a quarterback of all time.
It's certainly it's either him, Burrow in 2019. Like it's on the very, very short list. Dylan in Antioch says, I was at that Arizona game with Vince. It's my favorite game I've ever seen inside Nissan Stadium. It's pretty awesome, man. Like I said, there weren't a lot of them, but some of the good moments with Vince were pretty darn good.
That was one of them. Also in that game, that was the track meet between Chris Johnson and Dominique Rodgers camaraderie down the sideline. Yep. You're like, oh, this is good.
That's a lot of speed out there. Yep.
This is good. But then, Vince came back and got it done. It's just, and in 2010, Vince had the shoulder pads into the stands and all that, the meltdown. You remember that game?
I don't remember who they were playing in that game.
Redskins.
No. Okay.
Quarterback for the Redskins. It's a great trivia question. In 2010.
Was that McNabb?
Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
You're the only guy who's ever gotten that.
Really?
Well done. Yes.
Because he's the first name that came to mind. I was like, McNabb or Jason Campbell?
Yeah. And McNabb looked so weird in that Redskins uniform. But that was the meltdown. And then Rusty Smith came in and threw the bomb to Randy Moss.
Rusty.
It's just absolutely terrible. That was Fisher's last year, and he moved on after that. But he was Vince would have been, God, he had so much talent.
He did.
Go back and watch that Rose Bowl game. I do every once in a while.
Probably, we just talked about Newton and Burrow having the greatest seasons. That's the greatest game I've ever seen anyone play.
Ever.
It was unbelievable.
When he runs a touch at the end, and he's going to do it, and they still can't stop him.
That's the greatest game, I think, of any sport I've ever seen anyone play.
Yeah.
And then, there's a reason why he got drafted, and Titans fans were just, so excited.
Oh, yeah. I asked Michael Griffin about that Rose Bowl game. I said, what was all that like? Because he played, with Vince there. He's like, well, you could never tell with Vince if we were winning or losing. It was always the same. We were like all jacked up, and, we're fired up, and we get upset, we're down. Vince never changed.
Yeah. If he would just put in a little bit of work, it could have been great.
Did you see Vince's ice bucket challenge?
I did not.
He asked Amy Adams and Bud Adams to do it.
Oh, well.
His heart's in the right place, right?
In the right place.
But if he gets Bud Adams to do the ice bucket challenge, We got a lot of hope.
Probably need to bring him back to play quarterback at that point.
We got a lot of hope in this world, man.
A lot more of your answers to get to on this. So we'll keep it going. Your favorite quarterback to watch. We'll also get into which quarterback storyline in the league this year intrigues you the most. I think there are a few that stand out to me. We'll get into all that. Best and worst in sports coming up at 6:45. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. The best and worst things in sports coming up at 6:45. We'll take your best things, your worst things on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Which quarterback is your favorite quarterback to watch of all time? A lot of different votes coming in. Brian says, my vote would be for Peyton and just the work that he put into the game. But another twist on this question would be that I miss the quarterback classes as a whole that we used to have, where across the league there was great quarterback play. This is something the game's missing, and I think it's hurting the game. You know, Brady's talked about this. You know, Brady, I forget where he was talking about this. It was probably about a year ago. And he was talking about just quarterback play across the league. He's like, you know, there are some really talented guys, and a lot of these quarterbacks can make, more throws than maybe other quarterbacks used to, but they have no idea how to play the position, was basically what he said. He's like, they can't read defenses because in college they're looking at a whiteboard or somebody on the sideline giving hand signals. And he's like the actual, all the nuances that going into play quarterback have gotten worse, in his opinion, over the last 10, 15 years than getting better.
Well, I like this. I didn't know this, but this was the Bill Parcells quarterback draft rules, which is, it's time and true and tested, and it's perfect. Number one, got to be a college senior, which now you could be a junior because you get redshirted that 1 year.
Yep.
Got to graduate from college, be a 3-year starter, start at least 30 games, win at least 23 games, completion percentage of 60% or higher, maintain a career touchdown interception ratio of at least 2-to-1. Those are the 7 criteria for Bill Parcells, and it works. Who was the guy from Florida the Colts drafted?
Anthony Richardson. Not very good.
No. Yeah. I mean, go down and look at the list, and this Parcells list of quarterbacks coming out of college is very accurate for everything that goes on there. And Brady's like, look, I wasn't a 3-year starter, but I was there 5 years, and I graduated, and I played at Michigan, and I got in big games. I learned this and that. So the criteria of the quarterback, according to Bill Parcells, is perfect.
Let's head to the phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Kenny the mailman to the program. Kenny, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Hello, good friends. How are you?
Good, Kenny. How are you?
Well, you know what? I listen to Joe so much, sometimes I wake up and almost hear his voice going to work. It's sort of an odd phenomenon.
It is. Very much so.
Being a Vandy fan, watching Pavia the past 2 years has just been incredible. I went to one of his first games 2 years ago, and I told the guy, "Oh, he's too little to play in the SEC. I'm glad he's here. Maybe they'll win 3 or 4 games." And he had a really good year. He would do something just about every game that you'd go, "What?" But then coming back last year, every SEC team had their calendar circled, said, "Oh, we'll show this guy up. We're going to show him what it means." And he had even a better season. And even the 2 games they lost, Alabama and Texas, they were right in it. Usually there's a 40-point loss every year for Vandy.
Yep.
That didn't happen. And to top it off, I had friends at the last game, at the Tennessee game, both sides. And they told me, the Tennessee fans said, "Oh, we're not worried about winning. The success of this game is Pavia's going out on a stretcher." And I mean, that stadium was crazed and enraged about what they were going to do. The whole focus hours before. And he put on a show. I don't know if it'll ever happen again, if they'll ever be able to do stuff like that. But there were times last year I go, "Shit, that season, this is a Disney movie." I mean, really, you think about it. And I just hope people really, really, really appreciate what it is instead of thinking, well, AFC quarterback.
No doubt.
He had nice players with him, but nothing like the other teams. And yet, he sort of proved a point. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Kenny. Appreciate
See you,
it,
buddy.
Yeah, I mean, Pavia. Look, Jared Curtis. We talked about that earlier this week. Vanderbilt fans very excited about it. It's going to be hard to replicate at the college level, and Jared Curtis may end up being a first-round draft pick at some point. We'll see.
Right. Yeah.
But at the college level, it's going to be hard to replicate what Diego Pavia did.
Oh, it is. Back to the quarterback thing, what we're talking about, like the Montana thing.
Yeah.
I always get this like, well, he had Jerry Rice. And I'm thinking, that's not Joe Montana's fault, right? I mean, that's not his fault. He got John Taylor was there. So you get great players around. That's not Joe Montana's fault. Now, he took advantage of it, became a great quarterback. That's fine. But remember, 2 of the 4 Super Bowls he won, Jerry Rice wasn't there. And you go on like, Staubach and Bradshaw and a lot of those guys back there, but it's a generational thing. But now you talk about what's recent memory to us. You talk about Rodgers, in 08 and 9 and 10, the Super Bowl year, and they won.
I think he is the greatest thrower of the football ever. I think he has more talent than anyone who's ever played.
Perfect passes.
Rodgers. It's unbelievable. Now, it doesn't mean he's the greatest. He's not the best quarterback ever. I mean, Brady's the best quarterback ever. But I think he, in terms of just purely throwing the ball, Aaron Rodgers, unbelievable.
And Favre has been it's tough because what the things happen off the field down in Mississippi with all the things that went on, your thought of him is a little bit watered down but we're talking on the field. And I know that's that great Holmgren thing where he's talking about, he's like, stop throwing the ball down the field. He'll throw the ball 50 yards on the field and it's intercepted, right? And he's like, why are you doing that? He's like, well, I thought the guy was open. Next series does the same thing as a touchdown. Yeah. And Holmgren's like, don't ever do that. Well, I mean, a good pass. But man,
nice job.
Yeah, right. Don't do that again like that.
No. Yes. All right. Good job.
But it's funny. To me, Cam Ward turned into Favre the last part of 25 because there was no coaching. Go back and watch Cam Ward. He's just throwing the ball, trying to make things happen. Bo Hardigree wasn't really. Yeah. Where did Hardigree land? Buffalo, right?
I believe
Buffalo
is the case. Yes.
Because Josh Allen's like, I'm so glad to have Bo Hardigree here.
That's where he is.
I was like, what? You sure about that, Josh? But those are the things that
he's another one that I would throw in like modern day. I love watching Josh Allen play. He's just. I'm always scared that he's going to get hurt because he just leans over and just trucks people.
Right.
But he hasn't yet. Like, he's a lot of fun to watch play.
Well, he reminds me of Aaron Rodgers because their genesis is the same.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted him out of high school.
Yep.
Rodgers went to JUCO. Allen went to JUCO. Allen had one
Wyoming.
off. Yep. Yeah, one offer there. I think Rodgers had one or two, and Cal was the one.
Yep.
And they made the most of their opportunity, and wham, and they got to the league. And only about Rodgers is I wish he would have at least one more Super Bowl. Should have had
I agree.
At least
They
one
had
more.
At least one more.
Wonder how that's going to go with reuniting with McCarthy this year.
They'll probably be 9-8, somewhere around there.
Did they get along?
Be good.
Okay,
they got along fine.
Towards
it faded off at the end where it wasn't good, but I think they had this big thing before the Packers played the Cowboys a few years ago at Lambeau, where they were out there just crying and hugging each other. So I think they're fine. But
got to be on the same.
The other
page.
thing is, Rodgers is 42. Like, it just last year he played fine, but he played fine last year, and they got to 9-8 or whatever it was, and got in the playoffs and got smoked, and that was it. It's not going to be different. Like, that's going to be what it is.
Well, I remember it was the Ravens game towards the end of the year. Remember the last game, whatever it was, regular season game, when he's trying to run out of bounds, and you could see at 41, like, all right, he's not 26 anymore, and it was just throw that ball away. But again, we talk about age, right? I mean, if he goes there in shape and has that zip on the ball, which he had last year.
He still got the zip.
Right. I think he'd be good to go.
Yep. Michael and Madison says, debut Will Levis might be a top 10 quarterback ever, just not any other game of his career. I will say, we've talked about that before. The Titans have had a couple of debuts from quarterbacks that turned out to be just not good. That were like the debuts. I mean, Marcus's debut against Tampa was unbelievable. It's like, oh, he's got a perfect passer rating. It's unbelievable. And Levis against the Falcons, and both of them to different levels,
right,
turned out to be not very good.
Well, I mean, how different would Levis be had he not done that awful play in Chicago? Because they win that game.
It's a great question.
The Bears don't score an offensive touchdown in that game, right?
I would have to think that it would be somewhat different. But the other part of me thinks, well, if he didn't do it in the Chicago game, he would have done it at some point else, because I was stunned. The Chicago play was so stunning. What was more stunning was he basically did the same thing the next week against the Jets, where he just rolled the ball on the ground. It's like, okay. So that's why you had the
Tajay Spears, right? Yeah.
Where he's just like, what are you doing?
And what was the game where he threw the pick six to the Colts guy and he ran it was a Colts game, but the guy ran in, and Levis goes to the sideline and says, I didn't see him.
Yeah.
And I remember Callahan screaming at him, like, what do you mean you didn't see him? And you go back and watch the replay. He's right in front of Will. How did you not see him? And I was like, yeah, there's something a little off right here.
Yeah. Yep. Loppy says, your Rodgers was on one leg against the Legion of Boom. That I think it was 2015, maybe that season in the NFC Championship game. But we were on the doorstep of a Brady Rodgers Super Bowl, which we never got. Never got that.
That's right. Yeah. It was a 2014 season.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got plenty of, Brady Manning AFC Championship games, but
right.
Never got a Brady Rodgers Super Bowl. We got a Brady Rodgers NFC title game back in 2020, and Brady won that one.
Does Tampa win that on the road?
Yeah.
Up in Green, they did, didn't they? Because there's nobody in the crowd.
Yeah,
it was the COVID year.
Yeah, exactly.
And then came back and do. I thought Brady, the last year was good. I don't think we needed him. It's like when Mike Fisher came back that one year. You know where I learned that Mike Fisher story? You know who broke the news for me?
No,
Robby Stanley.
Really?
I think you had it first that day.
I think I did.
That was in
2018.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like big announcement. And you're like, Mike Fisher's coming back. I was like, why? And then he came back and
he wanted to go try to win a cup.
Yeah, it was okay.
Didn't work out.
Not at all.
615-737-1025. Our phone number, 615-737-1025. The best and worst things in sports coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
The best and worst of the sports week, now on Robby and Rexrode.
On ESPN.
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is the worst. You look like you're feeling sorry for yourself. Believe in miracles? Yes!
He's one of one. He is him.
This is a Coke bottle. It's not a crystal ball.
when I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Okay, let's go.
It is that time of the week, time for the best and worst things in sports. We'll take your best things, your worst things on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Rexrode normally goes first. So that means today, Big Joe Dubin is going first. Big Joe, your best and worst.
All right, the best thing about sports right now is that high school football started back on Monday. I love high school football. Now it's the acclimation. They've conditioning this week and then helmets next week and then pads, but they're back. And I love high school football. I love what it teaches. We have a lot of great high school coaches and assistant coaches in Middle Tennessee, a lot of good men who are leading these young men around. So I absolutely love high school football that it's back. The worst thing about right now, I hate lists. I hate the Jeffrey Simmons comes in at 83rd. No, Jeffrey Simmons is the best defensive tackle in football. Let's talk about that. I don't care. You can't compare quarterback to defensive tackle to safety to run up. You can't. It's stupid. All it does is get you talking. But I hate lists. It's the worst thing right now about sports are lists. I hate it. And if
boy, are people coming up with a lot of them right now.
If you got to default to lists all the time, this means you're not very creative and you're not working hard to find good, fun topics. So lists are the worst. High school football returning is the best.
There we go. I like it. Ian Safar, your best and worst things in the world of sports.
Let's see. I think my best this week, I'm going to go with Erling Haaland, the Norway striker.
Pretty darn good.
That dude, I think he might be quickly approaching my favorite international soccer player.
How about just international star? I mean, that dude is...
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah. There's a clip going around of him dapping up a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen this.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a line of kids and one of them's not paying attention. And instead of just walking away and, hey, I'm busy, I got things to do, he legit taps the kid on the shoulder like, hey, don't forget, dap me up over here. The kid looked like, if you're going to spend time to do that for kids.
That's a good one.
I mean, come on. There's not I get it. It's a lot for athletes and you probably get bombarded all the time and people asking you for pictures and autographs. But if you're somebody that's big of a star and you can take a second to make a kid's day like that, there's no telling what that could do. I don't know. Stuff like that sticks out to me.
Oh, yeah.
As a best. Besides the fact he's like the Terminator
There's
out
also
there.
that. Yeah.
Just standing there, power kick right to the corner, boom, header, boom. He's inevitable. So
good. That's a good one.
I don't know. I like that one. That was good. Of course, it's hard to not mention Matt Freese with the goalie, the U.S. men's national team. That whole debacle on the third goal.
Terrible.
Feel bad for him, but come on, man. We got to do better. After that, it was Dunzo.
Not good.
So that'll be my worst.
Not good. My best thing, Messi. It's there, every now and then there's some athletes that you watch where it just feels like, even if it doesn't actually always happen this way, it feels like they're always going to come through. Like Brady's a great example.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time Brady got the ball with 2 minutes left and he's down 3, I was like, well, I mean, he's just going to drive right down the field. And they're either going to tie it up or they're going to win. It's what they're going to do. And he didn't do it every time. But it kind of felt like he did, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then, Messi is kind of the same. And I don't watch a ton of soccer, but every time I watch Messi play, he scores. Every time. It's unbelievable to watch.
He's the best ever.
He is the best ever. And, you don't have
the whole Ronaldo debate. Like, get out of here. With that.
Yeah,
it's not
gone.
even close.
It's not close. It's unbelievable. And he's still doing it at 39. The goal he scored the other day is just crazy. And Argentina had no business winning that game, and he's just unbelievable. So
Got
Messi,
no business.
Yeah, I mean, Messi's the best thing in sports. Worst thing, I'm going to go. I mean, I'll build on the U.S. men's national team, but I'll go specifically, Christian Pulisic. Like, if you're going to be the poster boy of soccer in the United States, you got to come through when it matters, and he didn't. And Landon Donovan's talked about this. Like, Donovan had a horrible World Cup in 2006, and he came back in 2010 and played really well for the U.S. So hopefully Pulisic can do that next time around. But it was very disappointing the way that he played and just basically the zero that he was outside of 45 minutes that first game against Paraguay.
I'll be honest, I'd never heard of this guy before the World Cup.
Pulisic?
I just don't follow soccer.
Well,
I'd never heard of him.
He's just been such a disappointment over the last, 8 years.
Yeah.
he was just like hyped up as the next star.
Is he play in the English Premier League? Is he over there?
He doesn't play in the EPL. I can't remember which club league he plays for right now, but he plays overseas for a different league.
Well, on my list of
maybe he's in the EPL. I don't know exactly which club league team.
He's been on Chelsea.
I know he has
Milan
been.
now. I think he's in Milan.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Well, on my list of Christians, I got the 12 disciples: Christian Leitner, Christian Bell, and then this Christian.
And Pulisic, he comes in after that.
Yeah, he's like 15th.
Seems fair.
It's good to know.
Yeah, and like his interviews, he acts like he's been put in. I don't know. He acts very. I don't exactly know the word, but I don't like his attitude.
Look at you,
a little arrogant.
Yeah. Like, he's offended that all these people are asking him all these questions. He doesn't really give any responses. He's like offended by all this stuff. It's a bit much.
It's a bit much. Somebody voting for the worst thing is LeBron not making a decision yet. We'll see.
Let me tell you, as a kind of average NBA viewer, I'm hooked on where he's going.
I am too.
And I'll tell you why. I don't watch the NBA. I watch LeBron. If LeBron goes to the Atlanta Hawks, I'm watching Atlanta Hawks basketball games because I'm just fascinated. The guy is in his 40s. I think he plays until he's 50. Really do. So if I'm at home on a Tuesday night, I'm like, what's on? Oh, Milwaukee's playing the Nets. All right. Oh, LeBron's playing the Nuggets. I'm going to watch because it's LeBron.
Yep.
So I'm like, all right, where's he going to go? I'm not a huge NBA fan, big LeBron fan.
I am very interested to see where he goes. We talked about Golden State. It's not sounding like it's going to be there. I guess it could, but we'll see. A lot of people think it's going to be Cleveland, so he could be back to Cleveland for the third time at that point. I think Cleveland, Miami, some people saying maybe Philly now. So I would assume at some point here in the next couple of days, we probably should find out because it kind of feels like everything else is being held up right now in the NBA.
Where would you go?
If I was him,
any team.
If I was him and I could pick any team, I'd probably go Philly right now, but I don't think he'll go there. I think he's going to end up back in Cleveland.
Why not just stay with the Lakers?
Well, I don't think the Lakers wanted him back. Okay. And I think this was their way of kind of like not pushing him out the door, but I don't think they were super sad to see him go. I guess I'll put it that way.
What about
they're ready to move on?
I'd love to see LeBron end up in Charlotte.
Yeah.
All right.
Hornets legend.
And people like
LeBron James.
Charlotte's got a team? Yeah.
I mean, selfishly, I'm a Heat fan.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him end up back in Miami.
But
that'd be nice.
At this, you wonder what is the motivation for LeBron right now? Is it strictly championships? It's probably not money. Is it
probably not money?
Playing with, another kid?
Could be. It's not to get Bill Russell's got 11 championships. Yeah. You're not going to get that.
No. Is it to just play as long as you can play? Right? Like, I don't know. It may be.
Has anybody played till George Mikan played till he was 50?
I don't know, man. I can't remember.
By the way,
I know he's played the most games of anybody ever.
Yeah. I by the way, I was fascinated when I talked to Shaq. His all-time favorite player is George Mikan.
Really?
I'm like, He's like, yeah, I watch video all the time.
Robert Parrish was up there. Vince Carter was up there. Nat Hickey.
Oh, Nat. That guy.
that was 1948.
That guy.
Apparently he was 45 years old, almost 46.
Yeah.
Do you know that the first backboard break in the NBA was by Chuck Connors, the rifleman, played for the Celtics. He's the first official broke the backboard.
Shaq did that a few times.
Then
they finally fixed the backboard
against Phoenix. I'll never forget. This is February of '93, and why I remember it, don't ask. He broke the entire structure of the goal versus Phoenix. And I asked him, I said, did the NBA make you pay for that? He's like, they tried. He goes, but the publicity they got off that far outweighed anything else, and so they paid for it.
Yeah.
But he brought the entire structure down.
Well, that's a close personal friend of yours now, Shaq.
We're tight.
Yeah.
He's great, man.
You guys are tight.
They told me you only have 3 questions. It was supposed to be 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Then it became 10 questions. Then it became 10 minutes. Then it became 3 questions. So I said, all right, I'll ask him 3 questions. I asked him 1 question. He ran with it for about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
He's great.
That's what.
And we are very tight.
Very close friends now. Very close friends. JC in Glitzville says, worst of the week, Robby for getting Dan Marino as the best arm talent ever. I think a lot of people would disagree with you on that. A lot of people think it's Aaron Rodgers. I think it is Aaron Rodgers.
It's a close one.
It's close. I mean, I'm not saying it's not close. I mean, it's close. You can throw Elway in there.
Right.
You can throw a lot of people in there. I mean, if you want to talk about just arm talent, you can throw Stafford in there too. It's unbelievable.
I will tell you right now, the best football arm I've ever seen, and you're going to laugh at me, and I don't care, Heath Schuler.
Yeah.
Heath Schuler in Knoxville one time on his knees threw the ball, I think it was 70 yards from the goal line to the 30-yard line.
I mean, the biggest arm I've ever seen is Milton. Like Joe Milton
from
Tennessee, he could throw it out of the stadium.
Right.
He just had no idea where it was going.
That's exactly right. But you got to be accurate.
Yeah.
Right? And so to me, Marino was so accurate, it was not even funny.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We will get back into the NFL coming up next. Jill Jelnick from Fox 17 coming up at 7:30. Charles Robinson at 8 o'clock. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Big Joe Dubin, Ian Safar here with you on this Thursday morning, presented by Green Ventures Landscaping. Property managers, if you manage it, they maintain it. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Jill Jelnick from Fox 17 will be with us later this hour at 7:30. Charles Robinson at 8 o'clock for his weekly visit coming up. We'll have a rant later this hour. Celebrity birthdays to close out the show today.
Just
a lot of stuff coming up on the program today.
Chuck Robb at 8, huh?
Chuck Robb.
Their name. J. Robb and Chuck Robb.
Chuck Robb coming up at 8 o'clock on the program here today. So looking forward to having Jill and Charles join us here. I mentioned, speaking of quarterbacks, people, by the way, continue to text in your favorite quarterbacks of all time, 615-737-1025. A couple storylines this year in the NFL on the quarterback front that are really interesting to me. I'd probably start it with Burrow, because Burrow seems to think in Cincinnati, based on the way he's talking, that they're going to be really good. I mean, he said, a few weeks ago, some of the vibes on this Bengals team remind him of that 2019 LSU team that we were talking about. I'm like, well,
we're vibing.
That's a heck of a bar. I understand you're talking about college football and the NFL there, but we all remember that team. That team was great, but it feels like Joe Burrow is very excited about what this year's Bengals team could be. My question is going to be a couple of things on that front. Number one, can he stay healthy? And if he doesn't, what does that mean? Because the guy is injury prone, and everybody knows how good he is when he's on the field, but he's hurt a lot. So if he doesn't get through this season healthy, what does that mean? And if they don't, let's say they go out there and they're just not good, or they're 7-10, or they're 8-9, they miss the playoffs again. What does that mean? Like, does Burrow, and we may get into this with Charles a little bit later in the show too. Like, does Burrow push for a trade at that point? Does Cincinnati look at it and say, look, man, we've paid Jamar Chase, we've paid T. Higgins, we went out and made a trade on the defensive side of the ball when we knew we were going to lose Trey Hendrickson this past year, and you guys still couldn't get in the playoffs? That's on you. That's not on us. Like, I'm very interested to see how the Burrow part of this goes, because he's unbelievably talented, but the injuries and just that organization, you never know how it's going to go with those guys.
I think Burrow is going to, if he gets pounded and gets hurt, I think he's Andrew Luck 2.0. I think he says, I'm done. He looked absolutely miserable the last 2 years. I think 24, he played a lot of games. It might have been after the 21 season of the Super Bowl. 24 wasn't bad. I think he played a lot of games that year and got hurt last year. I think that's what it was. He get hurt so much, I don't know. But I think there comes a point where you're like, this, I don't want to do this anymore. And Andrew Luck was kind of the same way. Like, you know what? I'm good. I made my money. I don't want to get hurt anymore, and gone. So I think Burrow's that way. But he's so damn good.
He is. There's no doubt.
Except when he goes to Italy and does those fashion shows and walks in an outfit that I wouldn't put my worst enemy in. He wears like a silver trash bag. I'm like, what are we doing here? Don't do this to me. Just don't. But he's so good. And I see both sides of that. I see the Bengals win the Super Bowl because of him. I see them going 4-13 when he gets injured, and they're like, all right, we're done.
He played 8 games last year. Now, the 8 games he played, he's really good. 2 years ago, like you said, he played the whole year. They had just a horrible defense. Their defense was awful a couple years ago. He threw for like 5,000 yards, 43 touchdowns, 9 picks. He had a 71% completion percentage.
Good Lord.
He's unbelievable. It's like MVP type numbers.
Right.
And they still didn't make the playoffs that year. So, to me, it kind of feels like this year is put up or shut up time for them a little bit. So I don't know. That part of it just really fascinates me. And the other thing is, like, if you're him, like you said, he's dealt with a lot of injuries. He's about to be 30 years old. Does he look at it if they don't make the playoffs this year and say, like, I am wasting my career here. Get me out of here. Send me somewhere else, and let's go. A lot of thought that if they don't make the playoffs this year, he's going to request out. I'm really interested to see how that goes.
So is this Stafford 2.0?
Could be.
Yeah, you got to some place where, I think Stafford and McVay are the perfect.
Agreed.
It's like Brady and Belichick. Those guys are on the same page. But, there's Burrow's going to come with a lot of money, but that's what you're paying now for these guys to do that. But if you trade Burrow, if you're the Bengals, get him out of the AFC, dump him in the NFC.
Yeah, go somewhere else.
Trade him to the Cardinals. That way you'll never hear from him again. And then, which is the worst franchise ever of any professional sport, and go that way. But I'm with you, man. I think there is something with him it's decided this year. Like, we're all in or he's done.
Let's head back to our phone line. Welcome in Adam in Portland to the program. Adam, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
What's up, man? Hey, it's a weird show, man. I guess I just now understood that you guys were together on. Is this temporary or is it?
Rexrode's on vacation. They're getting a well-earned vacation.
Okay.
Robbie and I both swiped right on the radio Tinder this week, so we'll see how it goes.
That's nice, man. Yeah, that's cool. So this is what I think of, man. When I think of the Bengals, it's the same thing with the Titans and wide receivers and the Bears and Jets with quarterback. The Bengals cannot get the O-line right, and it's incredible. They've tried for so long and can't get it right. So, yeah, dude, like, is there anybody else who thinks of the Bengals and the top three things isn't sucky O-line? Because I think Burrow's awesome. They have weapons, and they have the suckiest O-line in history, and they always have, and they always will. They'll never fix it. And I'm not sure, like, I can't – and the more I think about that, the more I think how fraudulent Callahan was, man. Like, what – a joke that dude was. He almost got Burrow killed the whole time he was there, and then comes here and does the exact same thing with our quarterbacks. I heard y'all talk about Levis and his stupid plays. I think Callahan had a lot to do with that too. But if we're keeping it on topic, man, I think the Bengals will never be able to get out of their own way because they can't draft linemen.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it, man. I mean, they've certainly – their line has been terrible. There's no doubt about that. Now, some of it hasn't really been the line. I mean, Burrow's gotten hurt a couple of times that are just freakish, right? Like he got hurt one time in practice, like rolling out to the right, and had a calf strain. It's like, okay.
It happens.
Some of it is just he's injury prone. There is some of that. Now, we do have a couple people in the text line saying, hey, if you're the Rams and Stafford's going to be retiring here in a couple of years, you kind of wait and see and then go get Burrow when Stafford retires. I would say that would make a lot of sense. They also just drafted Ty Simpson in the first round, so I don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like.
It might be one of the most bizarre draft choices of all time when you need receivers. Because what's Puka doing? I mean, Devontae Adams is getting up there, right? Yep. So you drafted Simpson, and then the PR thing they put on about, they all knew about it, and you could tell on the phone call McVay's like,
it was a very interesting press conference.
Yeah, hey buddy, it's that thing we run to a guy from high school, hadn't seen in 20 years, and you don't remember his name. Yeah. What are you up to, man?
You?
You're looking great. Yeah, you're still over there at that conversation.
Oh yeah,
but plus the Rams, they don't have any draft picks. They've given everybody away, which I think is the trend. I'm telling you, man. They gave the draft #1 pick to the Chiefs. He got their DB, who is proven, right? So give me a proven guy beyond a first-round draft choice.
They've got
what's going to happen
this offseason. They didn't draft anybody in the first round that can help them immediately because they took Simpson. But like you said, they went and got McDuffie from Kansas City, and then they traded for Myles Garrett. It's like, okay, well, if you're Stafford probably draft nights look around saying, because he drafted a quarterback, okay, and then like 2 weeks later you go get Myles Garrett. He's like, all right, good. We're good.
Stafford's like, honey, how much we making this year?
Yeah.
$47 million? Okay, we're good.
I think we're fine.
Just throw it on top of the pile of the other $250 million we got over there, which is good. I like McVay. I like the Rams. I like what they're doing. And, they're going to be – if you give me 4 teams – if you gave me 4 teams and I gave you 28, I'm winning the Super Bowl.
I would probably agree with that.
I don't think the Seahawks return. But give me the Rams. I think they're going to be up there. I think this might be – teams that go into new stadiums play at a higher level, the Bills.
We talk about quarterback storylines. That's another one. Not that Josh Allen's in danger of losing his job or anything, but it was last year, like when Kansas City, the path got cleared out of the way and they weren't good last year. You looked at it and you say, well, okay, well, this is Buffalo's time. Like if it's not going to be now, when's it going to be? And then they go to Denver and they lose. Like it's
a tough one for them.
Yeah, like they got to get that. I think with him and with Lamar Jackson, it's basically the same conversation. It's like, you guys are really, really good. Are you ever going to break through and win the big game?
Yep. I think right now, instead of July 9th, the Super Bowl is Rams and the Chiefs.
Okay.
I think, as I talked, Kansas City's going all out. This is it. This is the last ride, the last rodeo. This is everything. Andy Reid, Kelsey's gone after this year. I think Reid will be gone too as well if they win a Super Bowl. That's it. Yeah, I'll give you 28 other teams, and I'm going to win the Super Bowl.
I mean, usually you can handpick. I think I saw like Brady was on with the Kelsey brothers in the New Heights podcast. And I watched a little bit of that yesterday, and he was kind of talking about that. He's like, every year there are about 6 to 8 teams that really have a chance.
Yep.
And everybody else thinks they've got a chance, but there are about 6 to 8 that really have a chance. His whole point was, there are some habits that he and others can probably get away with when you're playing, the 27th best team in the league. But he never let that stand because it was all about, don't let these habits creep in when you're playing those 6 to 8 teams that you've got to compete against to win the Super Bowl. So.
And then, Goodell, we're talking about, they want expansion so bad. I mean, after about half the football teams in the NFL, it's not good. I'm telling you, there's not a lot of talent in the NFL, and you're going to add 100 more players? Come on, man.
615-737-1025, our phone number. More of your thoughts to get to coming up next. Plus, what team in the AFC South, outside of the Titans, intrigues us the most heading into this year? We'll get into that. Jill Jelnick coming up at 7:30. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. The Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix coming to the Nashville Super Speedway Saturday, July 18th and Sunday, July 19th. And 102.5 The Game has your chance to win tickets to the IndyCar race. Text in the keyword RACE to 615-737-1025. Again, that's RACE to 615-737-1025 to enter for your chance to win tickets. For more information on the event, visit musiccitygp.com. We are taking your thoughts on quarterbacks, Joe Burrow, all things NFL. Charles Robinson coming up at 8 o'clock. Jill Jelnick at 7:30.
You know who's an underrated quarterback that nobody ever talks about that I think is one of the best quarterbacks ever? Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
Nobody ever brings Troy Aikman up.
Because I think they look at it and they say, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, that offensive line. But to your point, that's not his fault that he had all those guys around him.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And usually when I talk to Cowboy fans, it's like, well, they had Staubach, and it's like, but what about Dak? I'm like, no. Aikman in himself is, when Aikman came out of Oklahoma, he went to Oklahoma, and Barry Switzer changed the offense from an option to a passing. Oklahoma goes and plays Miami. Jerome Brown breaks Aikman's leg. He's done. Switzer reinstalls the wishbone. In '85, they go on to win the national championship. And then Aikman's like, I'm going to go to UCLA. Yeah. And then the rest is there.
Let's head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Mark in Nashville to the program. Mark, good morning, buddy. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, good morning, Robby. What's up, Big Joe?
What's up, man?
How you doing, man?
Good, buddy.
Hey, Big Joe.
Yes, sir.
Big Joe, don't get comfortable with that seat. That's Joe Rexrode seat. Hey, Joe, everybody know I'm Joe's security advisor, so I defend Joe about everything.
You start going to the gas station with him.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Robby? We got I was going to tell you about that. We got a cash reward out for Joe's laptop. Hopefully we'll find it. Hopefully somebody will take the money, turn it in, and Joe will get back his laptop.
Well, he returned. They got his laptop back, but we still need to find the guy who did it. Yeah, we got to find the assailant here.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe then somebody could turn this guy in, man, and maybe he could, pay his dues and get arrested for that, because he shouldn't be out here stealing anyway.
There you go.
Especially, Joe Rexrode stuff. But hey, y'all were talking about the team I'm intrigued and interested in was the team Adam from Portland was talking about a minute ago. I'm intrigued with the Bengals. I mean, Jonathan Allen, you got Dexter Lawrence. That the secondary is going to be the key. If that secondary for the Bengals improves, I'm going to give them a legit chance. If they don't get it done, they're going to dismantle everything. Joe Burrow will probably do what Big Joe said. He'll probably retire, or he can go somewhere else. Zach Taylor definitely will be fired this year. But I'm really looking at the Bengals. I'm not going to say Super Bowl, but I'm really looking at the Cincinnati Bengals as being a good team this year. But Kansas City, I think the key to them, though, Big Joe and Robby, it's been quiet here lately. I think they go back out here and get Tyreek Hill and bring him back. It's been quiet on that front, but I think they'll end up getting Tyreek Hill back. They still need that explosive guy for those explosive plays for that offense for Mahomes. And y'all were talking about quarterbacks earlier. Big Joe, I know y'all probably won't agree with this. He didn't really turn out to be as good as advertised. But I thought Jeff George had one of the greatest arms I've ever seen in my life. I've seen him backpedal off his back foot and throw it 70, 80 yards. He had one heck of an arm on him. It just didn't ever materialize with that June Jones offense that they were running. Of course, him and June Jones ended up hating each other.
Right.
But he had one of the greatest arms I ever seen. But hey, hey, Big Joe, go Murfreesboro, Oakland Patriots, the dynasty, the greatest team in the state of Tennessee. We're going to win another one again. So, Big Joe, good talking to you, Robby. Y'all have a good day, man.
Hey, Mark.
We're going to get on up his road.
Appreciate
See you, man.
Jeff George, when fantasy football started in the early 90s, what really took off, Jeff George, that Falcons run and shoot was amazing. Andre Rison, Terrence Mathis. It was fun to watch that football team go, and Jeff George just could never get over the hump. But Jeff George played forever in the NFL, and Jeff George was the number one draft recruit out of high school, went to Purdue, didn't work out, went to Illinois, kicked ass. Then he ended up in the NFL and then played a long time. But yeah, I mean, he had a great arm. He's right on that.
So outside of the Titans heading into this year, you've got Houston with a loaded defense, questions at quarterback as to what CJ Stroud's going to be. You got the Colts last year, who started off as the best team in the league, and then Daniel Jones got hurt, and that totally went sideways after that. You've got Jacksonville with their goofball general manager and their head coach that may get punched in the face by Robert Saleh, but they won the division last year. Vibes are high down there in Duval with the Jags. So, Joe, when you're looking at the rest of the AFC South, besides the Titans, which team stands out as most intriguing to you?
I think C.J. Stroud hit a wall in the playoff game that he's never going to come back from. I mean, he was done in that game. Their defense is good. I'll give it to him. But I really like Jacksonville. That defense down there is underrated. I think Lawrence is better than average quarterback. A lot of good pieces down there. I mean, the Bills went down there and beat them, and it was like, whoa. The Bills don't beat them. The Jags make a deep run. I think they've built a good, solid football team in Jacksonville. I think I could see Jacksonville going all the way to the AFC Championship game. I think that they're that good of a football team.
I think they're good. Liam Cohen, I think, is actually a good coach. The Duval thing notwithstanding, when he first got there, I was like, oh, they're in big trouble. But no, I think he's actually a good coach. I just don't trust that franchise. I don't. I need to see them with my own eyes put together back-to-back good years, because I just don't know if they can do it. I haven't seen them do it in 25 years.
How'd they do in 23? 22, they went to the playoffs and got beat by the Chargers,
I don't
right?
believe they were very good.
Yeah, so 22 was good.
I will pull up their year by year. So, I mean, they made the random trip to the AFC Championship game in 2017.
With Blake Bortles.
They were bad for like 5 straight years after that. 2022, they win the division. 2023, they were 9-8 and did not make the playoffs. Then 4-13, then 13-4.
Yeah, right. I mean, you're exactly right about that. What did they play the Chiefs in the playoffs one year?
Yeah, they did. They played. I think it was maybe divisional round against the Chiefs. I think it was after. Yeah, I think it was 2022 after they beat the Chargers in that comeback, that crazy comeback. I think they went on the road to Arrowhead the next week and lost.
It was like 9 degrees. You knew they were going to win that game. Yeah. But so what you're talking about.
The reason I remember that is because I think Arden Key had a sack in that game. I was like, I like Arden Key.
Look at Arden Key getting it done. So if they can put it back to back, I think that they're one of the best teams in football. I really do, because that defense is so good down there. And if Lawrence can be better than average, get the running game going, I think this could be a really good football team.
Yeah, I am with you on that front. The Colts, to me, are probably the most intriguing just because I have no idea what they are. I mean, Daniel Jones is coming off the injuries. He was really good when he was healthy last year, but I've also seen Daniel Jones' entire career, and it still makes me wonder, like, all right, was last year in Indianapolis what he actually is before he got hurt, or did he get hot for about 5 or 6 games and he's going to turn back into a pumpkin this year?
Who was the receiver for the Colts that we're all in free agency? Like, go get that guy.
Alec Pierce. They got paid $1 billion.
Yeah, right. So I just don't think they have the depth to get very far. And again, Houston's got a fantastic defense, but there's no offense there. And watching Stroud in that playoff game, I don't think he comes back. I hope he does. I don't know what happened in that game, but he was awful.
Terrible.
Awful. And he's got to be a lot better if they're going to have a good football team. I don't know if he is.
We'll be joined by Jill Jelnick from Fox 17 coming up next. We'll have the Rand at 7:45, Charles Robinson at 8 o'clock. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Big Joe Dubin, Ian Safar here with you on this Thursday morning. Talking some football, and to help us do that, we head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in the hardest working person in sports around here, Jill Jelnick from Fox 17. Jill, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you. Love that introduction. And hey, next time you guys open up that radio Tinder, I hope I can get in there, swipe right for me.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah,
it's a very popular
that.
app. Very popular app around here.
That's what I've heard. Yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's exciting because we're kind of in the dead zone right now of the sports time, but it's not that far from now where training camp starts, and about 4 days into training camp, I'll be like, all right, let's get to some football games around there. But a lot of changes this year with the Titans. I mean, you've got a new coaching staff. You've got Carnell Tate coming in at number 4 overall in the draft, a ton of moves that they've made in free agency. So, Jill, as we sit here a few weeks out from camp, what intrigues you the most about the 2026 version of the Tennessee Titans as we start to head into things over the next few weeks?
Oh, I love that question because you're right. There's so many new things, right? Obviously, new head coach, new offensive coordinator who was a previous head coach with the Giants, and Brian Dable. New look defense with that rotation up front with the front 4. Jeffrey Simmons, new contract, blah, 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 blah. This sounds maybe cliche or mundane, but what intrigues me the most is Cam Ward's development and jump from year 1 to year 2. Because let's be honest, as many of the storylines as there are with this Tennessee Titans team, really, really the only one that matters is can Cam Ward take that big jump to his second year and really, really take charge of that offense in a way that not just only holds its own, right, and competes in the AFC South, but can he be their quarterback moving forward? And mini camp is one of those times where, okay, we see this, a little bit of this. We're only open to practice the media for so much, right? We can only take away so much. But when training camp rolls around, I kid you not, every other day, if not every day, I will have a report on Cam Ward, how he looks, his timing with the receivers. What has he said about Carnell Tate? What has he said about the new offense? How comfortable does he feel? Is he feeling better in man coverage? All of these things, I think, are going to be pivotal the first several days of training camp and could potentially give us a window in what the 2026 season will be like for the Titans.
So I totally agree with you. I think that's probably the most pressing question in Nashville sports right now is what that's going to look like for him. So to follow up on that, based on what you've seen from him after 1 year and into this offseason, and also based on what's now around him with all the changes that you just talked about, what's your confidence level that we are going to see a big jump from year 1 to year 2 under Cam Ward?
I think it's high. It's relatively high. I'm not going to say, he's going to be best quarterback in the AFC South or one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I'm expecting him to make a big jump because he's telling us he is already making jumps. He's more comfortable with that offensive line. He says his communication is better, not just leadership, but literal communication on the field, in the huddle, in the game, in practice. And he believes that whether it's his footwork, his arm, or his communication, he's feeling like he's taking that next big jump forward and also getting better with his timing. The area he said he needs to work on the most between now and training camp, which we all know Cam Ward's a worker. He's a workhorse. He's probably been out there every day working on something leading up to training camp, right? He said the biggest thing he needs to work on is his timing. Did it improve over the off season and through minicamp? Yes. But he says he really has to get that chemistry going with his receivers. That's hard to do when you're not in practice every day. But if there's anyone that could figure it out and take a step forward from now until training camp, or at least get better there, it's Cam Ward. And so I think if that timing piece shows up somewhat early or hopefully earlier rather than later in training camp, I think that's a huge tell on how quickly this offense can come alive start of the season.
We're talking to Jill Jelnick, Fox 17. Jill, how are you? I miss talking to you.
Oh, Joe, thank you so much. I'm good, Joe. I appreciate it. You guys mentioned how this time of the year is a little slow. Well, when you work for Fox 17 and you have FIFA World Cup on your channel every other day and you're hosting Team USA watch parties, it's actually quite a busy summer.
That's right.
and regroup before I pick up the camera again.
There we go. All right, so Robby and I have talked a lot this week about that opening game versus the Jets. I mean, you're out there every day with this team. I mean, how important, Jill, in your opinion, is that opening game versus the Jets? Because I think it sets the tone for the entire season. You win that game, you're feeling good. You lose that game, you're like, oh, my gosh, what's happening again? So how important is that opening game?
Oh, man. You know, if you ask most people, they probably say, oh, it's just the first game. I'm with you, Joe. I am so big on the tone setter. Leadoff hitter, and I was a leadoff hitter in college. You have to set the tone. And so many times when you start strong, you finish strong. And for a team that has not had a winning season the last 4 years, this first game is crucial. I hate to put all this weight on it, but it is crucial. But now there's a couple different ways to set the tone, Joe. Like, we could go back and forth about this. Does it need to be a blowout win? No. Does it need to be a win? Question mark. How about just a really, really convincing, strong performance where we go, oh, okay, this is a team that can do something down the line. I think if they are to come out and get that win, obviously with that exclamation point, that's a huge deal. But we got to get something from that first game, or else Titans fans and let's go ahead and say, and media, we're gonna be like, man, okay, we got, it's like deja vu all over again. We got to, this franchise needs to figure it out. And that first game is such a great opportunity to get the ball rolling and build momentum for the season.
No doubt. I'm tired of seeing really good efforts and losses. I'm done with that forever. I need to see, and I think, Jill, I think it's a win's a win, whether you win by a point or by 50. But to go out there and just dominate that football team if you want to be a good football team, you got to beat bad football teams bad. So get that. And then, you got the Eagles rolling here. If they can get that crowd behind them and feeling good and inspired, I think that game sets the tone. And then you get the Eagles next week, then you're at the Giants, at the Ravens. That's the first four. If you come out of those first four at 2-2, I think this could be a nice year for the Titans. But it all goes back, Jill, to that Jets game. That should be the only focus, I think, for that staff. And I think it is right now about winning that game.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. And I know Coach Saleh will tell us over and over again that he doesn't care that it's his former team. He only wants to get the win because that's what he wants to do with this team. I don't care. There's a huge, huge motivational factor for this entire team and Coach Saleh to get that first win. And yeah, it would look pretty darn good if he's able to get that first win over his old team, especially after the way they fired him. So no doubt, Joe, that first game, if you do not have plans already to go, or if you do not have plans already circled your calendar for it, you have to be able, any Titans fan needs to know that game could tell us what we need to know for this season.
So, Jill, it's been a while since the Titans have had a first round pick that has come in and just immediately you're like, wow, look at this guy. I mean, even Ward last year, like, he had some good moments, but it was a gradual process and they were awful as a team. And, it was just it was a different thing. So with all that being said, how much of a shot in the arm do you think it would be not only for this year's team, but really the franchise as a whole, if you're looking pretty quickly into the season and you're saying, you know what, Carnell Tate is immediately living up to the hype at being drafted number 4 overall. This is why the Titans made the move, and he's instant impact. It's been a long time since they've had one of those. How big of a shot in the arm would that be?
Oh, huge. You could not describe, I think, especially for this franchise in that position, how big of a deal that would be to have Carnell Tate have immediate impact. Look at the track record with just that position, the wide receivers, obviously with a trade with A.J. Brown and Treylon Burks, that was awful. Then trying to go out and get some older veteran receivers, Julio Jones, oh my gosh, the list can go on and on. It's felt like receivers come to Nashville and retire and do not do well. And so to have so much hype surrounding Carnell Tate, cautious optimism is probably the best phrase, right? He was number 4 overall pick, the highest the Titans have ever drafted a receiver. And so far through camp, he's proven, or he looks to be worthy of that hype. Now he's got to get out there on Sunday and do it. But to have him be an immediate impact player opposite of Wan'Dale Robinson, opposite of Calvin Ridley, opposite of Alec Iomanor, and then also Tim DK, that would be a huge, huge improvement for that wide receiver if Cardinal Tate can be one of those top receivers they need him to be. And that something like that, guys, that's an immediate boost for Cam Ward, immediate boost for the offense, a huge boost for Brian Daboll and Coach Robert Saleh. So, yes, I really hope he is the hype because the Titans need it.
Well, we're almost there. Just a few weeks until training camp gets rolling, and then it'll be football season, and we'll have made it at that point. Jill, thanks so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it as always, and we will talk to you soon.
Guys, always appreciate you. Remember, swipe right for me for the radio Tinder. Thank you. Bye.
Right. Jill Jelnick from Fox 17, our guest here on the program, does an outstanding job covering all things sports around here for Fox 17. We'll
Absolutely, she does.
The Rob rant coming up next. It's a combo rant. Rob and Big Joe coming up next. Charles Robinson at 8 o'clock. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game.
Don't make me angry.
Sometimes you have to tell someone to pound sand.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
This is the Rob Rant. Now on Robby and Rexrode.
There's nothing like Kentucky basketball. There's just nothing like it.
Are we taping or what are we doing?
No, we're live.
Live. No, we're start the whole thing over.
We got Bible study at 3:30 during the snack period,
we got to wait on the chain crew because they're eating a hot dog. That's the only disappointing thing about tonight. So
ketchup, I love it, but you don't put it on a freaking hot dog.
You know, a hot dog was kind of sounding good. And I even thought to myself at the time, I might even put ketchup on it. Like, that's how good a hot dog sounds right now. I'd even be willing to do that.
Hi, if you were a hot dog and you were starving, would you eat yourself?
It absolutely destroyed my stomach.
Who going to Bible study? Who going to Bible study?
And it's also because you're 2-6 and you need to be in the office working.
I think there are situations that every now and then just a good old brawl could fix.
5.
It is time for the Rob Rant, served by the Wine Cellar in Hendersonville.
God, that's fantastic.
Ian Safar continues to be the GOAT.
Fantastic.
I mean, I don't know that there's anybody that does any specific part of their job better than Ian does that. Ever.
Pretty good.
He's unbelievable. And now I'm talking nicely about him, and he just backs away because he doesn't like it when I do that.
He gets nervous, right?
He don't like it when I do that. That's fine.
Face is all red back there. Him and Matthew back there hiding out.
Don't be afraid to make the first move, Matthew.
That's right, man. We always impart advice and encouragement,
life counsel
to our interns,
yeah.
And so we had a fun off the air talk. So we're not gonna get into it.
Matthew, whose name is actually Grant,
which I still can't put that together. So good job, Matthew.
Way to go, Matt. Nice job. I got a quick one today because I was around these people a couple weeks ago, and I've seen some just online discourse. Ohio State fans are the most spoiled people on the planet.
Really?
Okay. You know, they win all the time. I mean, in my entire life, they're winning 10, 11 games every year. They just won a national championship a couple of years ago. And because somebody else won the championship last year, I heard people talking about this in Ohio when I was there. I've seen people online. You know, they've got this kid named Chris Henry Jr. coming in, who is Chris Henry's son, who is apparently just going to be some absolute stud wide receiver. And not that they've never had any stud wide receivers, but he's the latest in a long line, and apparently people think he may end up being the greatest one. Now, look, Jeremiah Smith is there, and he
pretty good.
It's pretty darn good, man.
Yeah.
Like it's a high bar to clear if you're talking about this kid coming in. But not everybody thinks that Ohio State is going to win the national championship this year. And my God, you'd act like that's some level of just immense disrespect to these Ohio State fans up there. Like, can you believe there are some people that think that like Texas may win the championship or that Georgia may win the championship? It's like, yeah, guys, it's college football, man. I mean, there are a lot of really good teams out there. Nobody's saying Ohio State's not good. But these people, I mean, listen, as somebody who's a Tennessee fan, we've gone through this week that, you know, the Dooley era, the Butch Jones era, the Pruitt era.
Yep.
You know, people have been through some hard times out there when it comes to their football teams. Ohio State has not been through hard times. They don't go through hard times.
Nope.
I do not have any patience at all for Ohio State fans complaining about disrespect. Absolutely none. You will not get any sympathy from me when it comes to it. So stop it. Just go out there and play, and you'll win 11, 12 games like you do every year. You'll be in the college football playoff, and you'll probably have a chance to win the national championship. Shut up to me about disrespect.
But wouldn't it be good if, like, you're a Tennessee football fan, that's your argument? Like, we're going to win the national championship. We're in the running for the national championship. That'd be great if that's what you talk about every day.
Just don't live in reality. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I get all that. Here's mine, and this drives me crazy that people do all the time. This is non-sports, but it drives me crazy. When you're like Robbie, you tell me a story, right? Most people would be like, oh, that's great. Some people, though, go out of the way to top your story.
Oh, yeah. The one-uppers?
And there was, on a radio station here in town, somebody told a great story, and the other guy says, well, I'm not sure I could top that, but, and I'm like, why are you trying to top that story? Stop being the one-upper, the topper. Stop doing that. Stop searching your mind like, how can I top? Let you have your moment and then move on. You'll have time to tell that story down the line. Stop being a topper. It drives me insane when people do that, when they're just like, all they can wait is to tell you, you know, it's like I had a friend one time, you know, we talk about, hey, I was on the 747. He's like, you know what? I went to the moon. And then it's always one step beyond you. And you're like, just stop doing this. Eventually you just stop talking to this person because it's so bad. But there's somebody here in this building that does that all the time, and it drives me crazy. We don't need to hear your story, how you one up this other story.
The one upper, there's a lot of that goes on.
Yes.
I think as I've gotten older, I noticed it a little bit more. Like I was like, oh, so this guy always has like some response to just the most innocuous story ever, right? Like it's pretty wild. The one upper is a real thing in our society.
As I tell people, 2 ears, 1 mouth.
That's
right? I mean, just listen. People like to tell the story. You don't have to tell your story against your story. You told me you're going to Disney World, right?
Yeah, I am.
So, I mean, I got like 9 Disney World stories. It's not my place to say, oh, hey, Robbie, like, hey, you talk about taking your daughter down there. That's great. You don't need me to tell you my story. It doesn't work that time. It doesn't work that way. So stop being a topper for all that. It drives me absolutely insane.
Besides, if we wanted to get into one-up and stuff, I mean, you lived the life of 1,000 men. You could one-up all these people.
well, not really well, but yeah. I mean,
you're best friends with Shaq now, as we established.
Shaq and I are so tight. Here's another thing that I need to get back. And I wrote about this for the paper. I need to get back to having a concert ticket. Right?
Not on the phone.
Not on the phone.
Ticket.
I have physical tickets from Starwood and Municipal Auditorium in the 80s and 90s that I have that are physical. They need to figure out some way to print you off at the show.
Yeah.
A physical ticket. I'm good with the app, all that stuff, getting in the show, but I can't go up to Robby and say, hold my phone and say, look, Robby, I went and saw Def Leppard. I need the physical concert ticket.
Yeah.
Find a way to print that out for me.
I think people could make money off that too.
Absolutely.
They would just do that at the venue.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people there are people in sports, like when the Titans and the Preds, I mean, they don't have physical tickets anymore. It's all on the phone.
Right.
And people that I know that have been season tickets to the Preds for a while, like, man, I kind of liked having the physical ticket. I collected them. Like I've got this whole book.
Yeah. I got
tickets.
A bunch of tickets, season tickets from the opening season.
Yeah.
Like opening first ever game for the Preds.
Yes. Things like that.
Stuff like that. Right. And you'll never get that stuff back. Like with the new Nissan Stadium. Who wouldn't love a ticket to the new first game of the opening of the stadium?
I think they'll print that out.
You think so? For everybody?
Yeah. I think if you go to the game.
And then I don't want I don't want to have to pay an extra fee to get that.
No, I'm with you. Yeah.
Like if I'm going to buy the ticket, it better come.
What's the last hard copy ticket you added to your collection? For me, it's been years.
Hard copy ticket?
A physical ticket.
I found one a couple weeks ago that I had still in my possession. It was from Tennessee and Wyoming in 2008, where Wyoming won the game.
It was after that.
Oh, you got that ticket? Yeah. That's when Phil Farmer's career was
over. Yeah.
Done.
That was the nail in the coffin. Yeah. That was the most upset I think I've ever been in a football game. Like, I mean, 16-year-old Robby just screaming.
I have the first ever Music City Bowl ticket.
Yeah.
I was at that one.
Okay. Alabama, Virginia Tech. Keep that.
Yep.
It's great.
And some Preds ones. And then a bunch of concert ones. I don't know. There's some tickets from 2015.
Okay.
Stuff like that. I'd say that they still printed.
I'm gonna top you here. Watch out.
One upper.
I have 2012 Def Leppard at Bridgestone. That's the last physical ticket that I have.
Okay.
That's 2012. But I need to go back to the physical ticket.
And then some other concert like Bonnaroo, they give out the bracelets.
Yeah.
So when you walk through the venue, you just you scan your bracelet. So it's not
I like
technically
that.
like a ticket, but it also you get to keep those.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I'm
that's
with you on
kind of
that.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. But there's some big shows like the Alan Jackson show. I mean, they should have given out a physical ticket that year. I'm not going to walk around and show you my screenshot.
Yeah.
I hate when people do that. Hey, look at this. I'm like, I don't want to look at your video on your phone.
Yeah.
Also, stop taping at concerts, and nobody wants to see your concert video. Nobody sure as hell wants to see your fireworks video.
Yes, exactly.
Don't show me your fireworks video. I don't care. And I will tell you that I don't care. Did you have a good time? Had a great time. Great. I don't see fireworks.
Yeah. There's a lot of that this past weekend.
Yes.
Oh, look at here. There's a fireworks show.
And your distorted concert video, I'm not watching that. You went to the show?
I'm not a big video guy at concerts.
No, I kind of like just
I'll take maybe
watching the concert.
One picture.
Yeah.
Maybe just to go back to my phone just to be like, hey, this was them.
I'm with you.
But no, I don't hold out my phone and take videos.
Not at all. everything's downloaded to my heart, man.
Robert in Nashville says, "Why are you guys trying to one up each other when the last physical ticket you had?"
I told him, I said, "Watch out now!
Watch out now! I got one for you."
On
here.
all that, but yeah. So concert tickets and stop one-upping people.
That's good. I like it.
The whole topper thing just drives me insane.
I like it. 615-737-1025. Our phone number today. The Nashville Sounds taking on the Charlotte Knights. First pitch at 6:04. Catch all the action on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks, Family Leisure, Maple Street Biscuit Company, and Social Cantina. Charles Robinson with us coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Final hour, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Big Joe Dubin, Ian Safar here with you on this Thursday morning. And as we do every Thursday morning at 8, we head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in our buddy Charles Robinson to the program. Charles, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, gents. How you doing this morning?
Awesome, man.
We're flying. We're flying through the off season.
We're flying. We're almost to training camp. Rexrode's on vacation. Allegedly in Vegas, although, Charles, I haven't heard from him, which I don't know if that's good or bad. You know, you've got more experience with Rexrode than I do. I mean, that could be any number of things.
Yeah, I don't know what Joe in Vegas looks like, honestly. I don't know if that's like the college Joe where he's out until 5 a.m. and waking up on, the carpet.
Yeah.
or if it's the latest version of Joe, the CPAP Joe, where it's
That's a good point.
he's taking in a couple of shows and eating a lot of food, and he's in bed by 10 o'clock.
I gave him a gout flare up, definitely possible heading into Las Vegas.
Yeah,
got to really be on the watch for that.
Vegas is the gout gauntlet, right?
It is.
I mean,
it is. Really got to keep an eye out for that stuff. Well, Charles, we were talking earlier in the show about some quarterback storylines kind of heading into this year that are really intriguing. At the top of the list for me is probably Burrow in Cincinnati, just because it feels like he's very confident in this year's team. And he started talking about, vibes from the 2019 LSU team a few weeks ago. Obviously, you look at their skill positions, they're loaded. My question for you is this. Say they get through another year and it's similar to what it's been, which is, he's dealt with a little bit of injury trouble. A couple of years ago, he was completely healthy and threw for 5,000 yards, and they still missed the playoffs. Say they miss the playoffs again. What do you think happens there with Joe Burrow and the Bengals if they don't capitalize on what they feel like is a very good opportunity for them this year?
Well, it's hard to answer that question because I think, Burrow himself has been I feel like his emotions swing. I feel like, you go back to the quarterback series and kind of some of the things that he said, about how important winning was to him. And then, obviously he carried that into different press conferences. There were times where he looked absolutely miserable. Now, as you said, he's comparing, his vibe or this feel for the Bengals to one of the greatest college football teams that we've ever seen in history. And obviously a championship team, which is great. But, you don't know, is this the typical off-season, hopium where everybody kind of looks at I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of, players look at their roster and say, hey, look, this looks a lot better. People are healthy. We've had some great OTAs. And as you said, I mean, there's reason for optimism, certainly offensively. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, they're absolutely loaded. I think, we've kind of gotten to the point where Chase Brown at the running back spot looks to me like he's going to show up and be consistently like a top 10 running back in that system. Chase, Higgins, Burrow's healthy. I think, Gesicki's found a good spot there at tight end, even Yoshivas as their third wide receiver. I question, the offensive line to me every season where is Burrow going to stay healthy? Is he going to bounce his hand off the helmet? Is an offensive lineman going to step on his ankle? Amarius Mims at right tackle, I think has a lot to prove. Orlando Brown has been an up and down player, in his career. And, so the two tackle spots alone, I think there's still questions there. They should be, I think, a great offensive team if everybody stays healthy. But, again, we go back to the defense, and is Dexter Lawrence going to be transformative for them up front? He and Jonathan Allen, if you get the best version of Jonathan Allen, those are, monster, interior tackles, and that's great, but you still have to be able to count on a pass rush from Boye Mafe and, Miles Murphy. There's just certainly a lot to question, for the Bengals. And if it does not work out and it goes the way it's gone in the past, I expect we'll get a similar version of Burrow that we've gotten late in Cincinnati Bengals seasons where, he's clearly upset. He's disturbed. And what does that ultimately mean for him? Look, cap wise, when you look at him, he is a tradable commodity. I mean, the 2027 cap hit's like $58.2 million. The overall cap hit to trade him, I think, particularly if you could divide it up nowadays, if you can get out of the Tua contract, and I mean, granted, they had to slash and burn to do it. I would say anybody can get out of any contract, but I don't think Bengals ownership will ever acquiesce to trading him because they know, and this is how they operate their business. They know he is that guy that puts the butts into the seats. He is that guy that makes the fact that they paid T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. That's the only way they're ever going to be worth the money they're getting paid. You're going to, if you plug in a substandard quarterback and you're not getting high end production out of T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, you're wasting money. So if you're going to trade Burrow, you might as well just trade everybody at that point. So, I think it depends on Burrow and where emotionally he's at. And, if this is the kind of Bengals season where they're scoring 35 points a game, but they're giving up 36 and they're going 4-13, then you're spinning your wheels and it's the same as it ever was. But, I would say functionally, although I don't agree with him when it comes to the LSU aspect of it, that to me is, man, it's a rich statement. They do look better. It is. I do think their defensive line, especially the interior of that defensive line, could really be a major difference-making element this year. And if that's the case, I think the Bengals. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. If the Bengals can hold teams to 20 to 22 points a game,
yeah,
they're going to win a lot of games.
And who's stopping that offense?
Yeah, and that's not a world-class defense. You're giving up, let's say you just give up 22 points a game, 22, 23 points a game. That's certainly not a world-class defense. But with how the offense is geared, and if Burrow stays healthy, that's, to me, a double-digit, win team. And you just got to catch, momentum at the right time. I mean, look at the Seahawks. I mean, we weren't sure how great that defense would be coming into the season. We didn't know for sure if Sam Darnold, could be steadying enough as a quarterback to get them in the groove that they ultimately slid into. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the Bengals to be a team to make a run, but I've been massively wrong before when I thought the Bengals were ready to finally turn that corner, and it's gone down in flames for several years.
So, Charles, it feels like every offseason we talk to you at some point about Derrick Henry, and the question of, I guess, whether or not he's going to slow down comes up. Well, I mean, in Baltimore so far, he's run for 2,000 yards basically, and last year 1,616 touchdowns. So if he has, if he has a good year this year, he's going to move from 10th to 6th on the all-time rushing list in today's era where you just don't see people running for as many yards as you used to see because the running game is less prevalent in today's NFL. So with all that being said, if he does that and he breaks into the top 6 and then ultimately, gets into the top 5 in terms of the all-time rushing list, with Smith and Peyton and Gore and Sanders and Peterson, where do you start talking about him in terms of like the greatest backs of all time?
Oh, you don't think that listen, I think we're there.
I think we're there too.
I mean, I think, I don't think he can. Okay, let me qualify that. I don't think he can have a season now. I would hope the cliff is not here at 32, right? So he's 32. He's going to play, throughout the season at 32 years old. To me, he's already shown that he is capable of going beyond that 30 year that we're all worried about. Okay, 30 years when you really start to get nervous about running backs, and it wasn't like he carried a light load last year. He played 17 games, he had 307 carries, and that's just the carries. And to me, I think particularly the last 2 seasons, getting back kind of to that player he was in the middle of his career in Tennessee, he's looked like that player again in Baltimore. And I think the surrounding pieces, the way the offense is set up, or at least has been the last couple of years. Now we'll see if that changes, obviously with coaching staff shuffling. But I think he's still capable of being at least the player he was last year, which is a 1,600 yard running back, 15, 16 touchdowns. I think if he puts that together at 32 years old, I don't think there should be any discomfort about talking about him amongst the greatest, running backs in NFL history. I mean, certainly he has not had the postseason success, but neither did Barry Sanders. Now, Barry Sanders, we can talk about, he was just different. And he was just different. You tell me Derrick Henry's not different?
Yeah.
I mean, the things we've seen him do over the course of his career, the way we have seen opponents talk about what it's like to play him, peak level Derrick Henry. I mean, he's certainly held in that esteem, I think, amongst, opponents, and he'll remain there, regardless, I think, of what he does this season. Yeah, I think we're there. For a second, I thought you were going to go, we're going to have do you think he's a Hall of Famer? I'm like, are we?
No, we're way past that.
He's a Hall of Famer right now. I mean, and I believe he's a first ballot Hall of Fame right now. And I also don't think I think just physically how he's kept himself in shape, the fact that he has had, to me, remarkable durability. If you go back to 2022, I mean, he's played 17 games. That's unbelievable. And that's not even counting, obviously, the postseason in Baltimore. I think he is built to last a little longer than I expected. I mean, I think he could be a player that maybe we see him get to his age 35 season. And if that happens and he continues on the pace that he's on, I don't know if he ever breaks the NFL rushing record, but I can't completely rule it out at this point, with the productivity that he's had. So yeah, I'd be shocked if anybody would even say he's not worthy of being in the conversation of, what would you guys say? Top?
I mean, to me, yeah, I think he's right there on that handful of guys. I really do already. And he's,
I mean, you look at the top 6-7 running backs in league history. It's unbelievable. I mean, you're talking about superstars. So that's if someone's sitting there going, well, geez, 7th, yeah, that's an unbelievable player. And this was a league that for decades and decades was built on that was the guy that before it became quarterbacks, the running back was the superstar. That was what pushed offenses. So to be even on the fringe of literally the planetary gravity of the names on that list at the top, he's already accomplished, more than I ever could have expected.
Talking to Charles Robinson on the Robby and Rexrode show. Charles, big fan. I'm filling in for Joe this week, so I love listening to your segment every Thursday. Question, you know Joe pretty well. What are the chances Joe Rexrode would ever get in a Waymo?
Man, that's a good question, because I have not yet taken a Waymo myself, and here in Houston, they're everywhere now.
Yeah.
Like it's wild. It went from, maybe a couple months ago, 6 months ago, I saw one. And I'm like, oh my God, there's a Waymo.
Right.
And I thought there's got to be somebody driving it. And the fact that there was, it blew my mind. Immediately came home and was like, you're not going to believe. I passed the Waymo. It's amazing. Like, it's just driving around with nobody in it.
Right.
Now they're everywhere.
It's terrifying.
But I don't. To me, I'm like, when I saw the report of the one that went through it was the live police standoff.
Right. Yes.
I was like, let's let the kinks work out. A couple more.
Somebody in the back seat just crouched down.
Right.
Don't shoot me.
Like, what the hell's going on? I'd love to see Rexrode get one of those and get stuck in there, and it just loops the airport. He can't get out for like 2 hours. I'd love to see that.
I'd be on with an attorney immediately. I'd be like, hey, how can I monetize this?
Right?
How can I make Waymo in the middle of a police shootout? Here's okay, this is the question, and this is what I think answers it. Do you have to tip? I don't know if you do.
I have no clue.
That's a great question.
I mean, what are you tipping?
Now, who are you tipping? Right? The robot?
Not tipping the service of a human being, so I would think you don't have to tip. And I think at times Joe could be cheap. So I would say that that's an attractive angle of it.
I just know that I'm going to kick the back window out in a Waymo when it tries to take me someplace I don't need to go. And I don't think Joe would do that. This Joe does.
Exactly.
I'm knocking the window out.
What happens if a Waymo requests a tip or gives you the tipping option and you don't tip?
To lock the door?
And then it doesn't let you out. Right? I mean, listen, we're getting to the point where my brother's in tech, and he's always sending me these things where it's like, we've turned corners, like we've done this, we shouldn't have done that. And he sent me, I think it was in the Russia-Ukraine war, and he's like, hey, man, there are drones over there that are operating on AI now without – I'm like, what? They're making decisions? Like they're making like battlefield decisions? He's like, yeah, there's a handful that are doing it. I'm like, that's it. We're
in big trouble.
This is Terminator. We've done it. Like it's once we go through that, we have driverless taxis. How long?
Oh, I love that. That's good. Hey, you brought up a point a moment ago about talking about Derrick Henry and not the postseason success. And I'm going through my mind about great running backs who never, like Eric Dickerson, never made a Super Bowl, made a championship game. Earl Campbell made 2 championship games. Do we correlate your success into postseason? Do we factor that in? Because a lot of great running backs, Charles, as you well know, never had that. O.J. Simpson, another example, they didn't have great postseason success. Do we factor that into their career?
I don't not. It's not like quarterback, right? Like it's we've never considered. Again, not the way we do with quarterbacks, winning like a metric of a running back, right? We've never said he was great, but he was just never a winner. It's always been, for lack of a better word, the excuse for Barry Sanders, right? It was always like, oh man, he was in Detroit, and look at all the, offensive lines that he played behind that were not very good. And, look at the quarterbacks that he played with and how many other Hall of Famers were ever around him. And so if anything, I think lack of postseason success for running backs, we are far more willing to not make that the thing that strikes down the resume. Whereas like, let's say Phillip Rivers, right? Phillip Rivers, he's got the stats, I think, of a Hall of Famer. And yet what do we talk about? We're like, well, he could just never get by. Yeah. In that AFC, he could never break through and win Super Bowls, and so that I think weighs on the candidacy of a Phillip Rivers. And I think with running backs, and I do believe that this is certainly more prevalent than it is with quarterbacks because quarterbacks can in themselves control games. Running backs they operate at the behest of the offensive system around them. They were, how good is their quarterback? How good is the offensive line? They're just dependent on, I think, so many other players. Not that quarterbacks aren't, but quarterbacks also have the ball in their hands and can make decisions to affect their outcomes in a far easier way than a running back really can. I mean, a quarterback will touch the ball, 60 snaps on offense.
Yeah.
Whereas a running back might, depending on how the flow of the game goes, might touch the ball 15 times. Is that their fault? No, not necessarily. I mean, so I agree. I think you look at that top, the top end of, look at the top 10. Obviously Emmett, standard setter, Walter had, the Super Bowl in 85, Frank Gore, not really, standout postseason success. Barry Sanders, obviously, Adrian Peterson, there were moments, but again, not, a title guy. Curtis Martin made the Super Bowl, obviously. Just not, there's certainly a lot of great players near the top that I don't think we look at the wins and losses in Super Bowls and decide whether or not we're going to ding them for it.
So Charles, on the Chiefs, I think there are a lot of people that are expecting a bounce back year from this year. And I get it, right? I mean, you've got Andy Reid, you've got Mahomes, you've got, I guess, what a lot of people think is going to be Kelsey's last year. And they've just been so successful for so long that I understand why people think that. I still look at their roster and I see some holes there and I see some aging players there. And I don't know that I'm as convinced as other people seem to be that they're going to be right back in the thick of things this year. Where do you come down on Kansas City and kind of how you view them heading into this year?
Well, I think what's interesting about the Chiefs, go look at their additions, their free agency additions. And I mean, it's, there's Kenneth Walker obviously was the big splash.
Sure.
That was the huge one. But aside from Kenneth Walker, it's, some modest, additions. You're not talking about necessarily frontline players. Obviously, Travis Kelce coming back is, presumably will still be a frontline player for them. But I don't, that depth chart, it didn't change significantly to the point where we're like, wow, that offseason, they really reshaped a lot of their needs and the problems they were having. No, I mean, and on balance, the team they're going to run out there is going to be the same team for large part that it was last year. The difference is, what is Patrick Mahomes going to look like? He's coming off a knee injury. It's a pretty big presumption, and it happens with quarterbacks. They get over knee injuries and knee repairs maybe a little more easily, particularly if they're not super mobile quarterbacks. But Patrick Mahomes ran a lot for them last year because he had to. Okay, you bring in Kenneth Walker, you remove that, so Mahomes can be more of a statue in the pocket as long as you protect him. I still think we have to see health-wise how long it looks or how long it takes for him to ultimately look normal in that offense. To me, though, around him, it's all about this idea that guys are going to take a step forward. Like, how long are we going to go on Rashee Rice?
Exactly.
Right? Like, we've been talking about Rashee Rice being healthy, having his head screwed on straight, not being a problem off the field, and turning into an all-pro player forever. And he had basically a flash and got injured, and we've been waiting for it ever since. Xavier Worthy, that's another one where we're like, how could the Bills possibly let Xavier Worthy get to the Kansas City Chiefs? Look at the players, that he's going to turn into. Look at the speed. He's going to be. He's not even Jameson Williams with the Lions, and I would argue that Jameson Williams isn't even a complete player for the Lions. But you just look at the wide receiver pieces, and Tyquan Thornton. Okay, that's a lot of weight, I still think, on the shoulders of Patrick Mahomes, and in some effect Travis Kelce, who's we're past his best days, right? We're past the all-pro days of Travis Kelce. Can he still be a serviceable, good player if he shows up, without having to work himself into shape in training camp? Yeah, I do, and he was healthy, but it's certainly a far cry from the days of when we looked at Travis Kelce at his peak, Tyreek Hill at his peak, Patrick Mahomes at his peak. We have not been there for a while, and they've been trying to figure out that math. And thus far, it just has not happened. Maybe, I don't know when Tyreek Hill is going to play again. I have no clue when he's going to get back on the field. So, and I've brought it up, like it would be nice to see that sort of reunion occur with him and the Chiefs, but I don't know what he's going to look like from a speed standpoint. I don't know if there's going to be gap time. It's a significant injury he's overcoming. He may not play until November, December. I don't know. And so the thought that, they'll bring back in Tyreek Hill and or they'll make another move. And I think what their team is right now, particularly offensively, that's what they're going to be. But we now have question marks with Mahomes coming back off an injury and whether some of those wide receivers are really ever going to show. Starts to feel like, in a way, there was an era with the Patriots where we're like, man, they keep going out and they're getting these wide receivers for Tom Brady, and it doesn't seem like these guys are sticking. Like Julian Edelman sticks and Gronk sticks. And then they're, patchworking. They had Randy Moss for a minute. They're patchworking all these other pieces in. I mean, there were a number of receivers who went in and out of that program who were unremarkable. And right now, Rice is talented. Worthy's, got speed. Are either of those guys? Do you look at either of those guys right now and go, "Oh, that's an number one wide receiver"? No. Clearly, there's no doubt.
Absolutely not. I mean, I don't think they're particularly close to it right now. All right, last thing for you, Charles. I know Penix is coming off the injury in Atlanta. The Tua Penix conversation, very interesting to me. How do you ultimately think that ends up shaking out here with Matt Ryan now in charge of leading the Falcons in that organization? And what do you make of kind of that dynamic heading into camp?
Well, I think, first off, I do think Tua is suited to Kevin Stefanski's offense. I don't think you don't have to have a big arm in Kevin Stefanski's offense to operate at a decently high level. Like, when Baker had his best year under Stefanski, Baker doesn't have a huge arm, but it's a good arm, but it's not absolutely stellar. Right. And I think Tua has at least that. I think the question is, like, how much of a quarterback like duel is this really going to be? And I don't know that it is. I feel it's not quite where Minnesota is, where you knew, at least I kept saying it, they're going out to absolutely replace JJ McCarthy. You know, that's not happening. And when Kyler Murray walked in, it was over. I didn't feel like, okay, Tua landing in Atlanta meant it was absolutely over with Penix. But the thing that I worry about with Penix is the people who loved him most in that organization are not in that organization anymore.
Right.
And the type of injury that he's coming off of, with the knee injury, he's had chronic knee injuries throughout his career. So that, you know, health is obviously a big concern. And by the way, he also was not developed. You know, his downfield accuracy was not great. You know, he had not learned, you know, how to throw intermediate passes with touch. He needed all these starts. He needed to stay healthy and on the field to get into that, you know, groove and rhythm as a player and develop. And now he's not only out of the mix, you know, for the balance of almost all of last season, but you're bringing in a guy who has experience, whatever you want to say about Tua and the injuries and all the problems he's had. He has had experience. He's had some high level success at the NFL in terms of at least the regular season when he's been paired with the right players and in the right system and been healthy, which, you know, to me, you're kind of leaning into his direction. Plus he's playing for his career right now. I think if Tua comes out of this and he's not the starter by the end of the season in Atlanta, he's probably starting to head toward the Kirk Cousins route, where it's like, okay, maybe he'll be considered a guy who comes in and plays a season, but he's going to be a career backup probably the rest of the way, because I don't know who else fits his skill set better than Kevin Stefanski at this point. And by the way, there's no reason that whatever quarterback ends up starting there's certainly enough firepower around him to support a good. I mean, Bijan Robinson is number one. He and Jahmyr Gibbs are the two running backs in the league who are dynamic enough to change games every time they touch the ball. Drake London is I think he has risen into that echelon of like a top 5-6 receiver in the league easily. Kyle Pitts, if he can just do what he did last year, has finally gotten to that stage where, you know, he's a very, very dynamic difference-making tight end. So the pieces are there for whatever quarterback gets that opportunity, and maybe they both do at some point to showcase what they are. But I think whoever loses, neither of them really looked like what we thought they would. And look at all these quarterbacks in the next draft, and there's a chance. When Pittsburgh had Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, we thought they're going to find a starter out of those two, right? Nope. There's a chance that ends up happening in Atlanta as well, particularly with the quarterback class that's coming out in 2027.
Two lefties with Tua and Penix too. Always fascinates me when they got the two lefties in there.
Lefties, man. Lefties never make it. I don't know.
That's weird.
Should have played baseball.
That's right. It's all people want. Baseball is lefties. Charles, great stuff as always, man. Appreciate you taking time to be with us. We'll see if Rexrode makes it back with us next week, and we'll talk to you then.
All right. Sounds good. Take care, guys.
Absolutely. Charles Robinson with us every Thursday morning at 8 o'clock here on the program. We will react to what Charles had to say coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game, our football offseason coverage presented by Tennessee Brew Works and Parman Tractor and Equipment. Robby Stanley, Big Joe Dubin, Ian Safar here with you on this Thursday morning. Appreciate Charles Robinson for being with us in the last segment.
Is Charles somewhere still talking, do you think?
Could be.
I love his knowledge.
He can talk.
I think it's one of the best segments on this radio station. I think it is fantastic.
He is awesome. And we like having him on every Thursday. He'll be with us every Thursday throughout the football season as well. So looking forward to that. I mean, you brought up the Chiefs. Like I said, I totally get it. Like, everybody thinks that they're about to bounce back. You've got Mahomes, you've got Andy Reid, you've got Travis Kelce, and they've just been winning for so long at this point that your natural assumption is that they're going to win.
Yeah.
I still look at their roster and I'm like, man, there's just so much on Mahomes. Like, there's, Kelce's getting older. He's not the same player he used to be. He's still good, but he's not the game changer he used to be. But Mahomes coming off the injury, they got L'Jarius Sneed wandering around back in there. I don't know. I think they'll be better than they were last year. I just don't know that I'm gonna put them at the top of the AFC. Like, I need to see, I guess, some of the guys that they've signed here, and maybe Delane comes in. It's just unbelievable at corner that they bring in. I still think they've got some holes there that are going to be hard to fill. Like the AFC, you had the Patriots make it to the Super Bowl last year. They were a flawed team, as we saw in the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Denver, I really like Denver, but Bo Nix is coming off the injury. Like, it feels to me like the AFC is pretty wide open heading into this year. Whereas I think you look at the NFC and you're like, okay, well, Seattle's the Super Bowl champion. LA has got the best team by a mile on paper now, especially with Myles Garrett coming over. It feels way more wide open to me in the AFC than it does in the NFC right now.
I just look at a lot what the Chiefs are doing. This is not them coming back to have another dynasty. This is the 1 year. They know this is it. And we've talked about this all the time. They know this is the last rodeo for a lot of these guys that are going to go out and give everything they got. And you said the AFC is wide open. Why can't it be the Chiefs?
Sure. Yeah.
But I really think the Jags are going to be a great football team. They've got a good defense. Lawrence is playing better. The run game's there. They've got a little mojo down there in Duval, which is fine. And I think they're a team to be reckoned with. I don't think the Patriots are back. They took advantage of the easiest schedule since 2007.
It's pretty easy,
right?
Yeah.
That's not their fault. You win the games in front of them. I just don't think they'll be back. And they really caught lightning in a bottle and got all the way to the Super Bowl. And you saw how they got exposed during that game. But I think you give me 4 or 5 teams, I'll have your Super Bowl winner for you.
Well, it feels like, again, in the AFC, another year where, like, if you're Buffalo or if you're Baltimore, it's like, hey, I mean, it's right there for you. As I knock my microphone down, it's right there for you. And if you don't take advantage of it this year,
right,
you start to look around and say, all right, well, Drake May not going anywhere. Bo Nix, and look, I don't think Bo Nix is like the reason that Denver was as good as they were last year, but every now and then he'll have a game where you're like, man, he played really well in that game. They've got a great defense, all these things. It feels like another year to me where it needs to be Buffalo or Baltimore's year. And if it's not, I mean, you can throw Cincinnati in there too with Burrow, but like those quarterbacks we talk about all the time, when it's as wide open as it feels like it is, it just feels like a huge opportunity for all those teams. And then hopefully, like if you're a Titans fan, you're listening to all that and you're like, yeah, okay, well, here in about a year, you can add the Titans to the list of those teams because Cam Ward comes in this year and plays well. And we'll see whether or not he can do that. But that's the hope. Here is next offseason we're talking about. Yeah, watch out for Cam Ward and the Titans.
I tell you a team that I really liked that everybody's going to talk about, and that's fine. I like the Carolina Panthers. I think they peaked a little early last year. I think Young has got it together. They got good receivers. They got a good core. They had a good draft. But nobody. It's not fun to talk about Carolina, right?
Certainly not. Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk about them.
Yeah.
They've been to 2 Super Bowls. Nobody wants to talk about them. I mean, it's so. I think they're good. I think the Saints with is it Shuck?
Yep, Tyler Shuck,
which is not spelled that way. Schlau is. I think they got someone. There's a lot of teams that got momentum, but can they get to that next level? I don't know, but I'll take the ones. I told you earlier, the new stadium bounce is real, and the Bills got that new stadium. This could be their year, man. And a new coach. Allen likes Joe Brady. We'll see what happens.
I feel like you'd have a good time at a Bills tailgate, right? Like the Bills Mafia.
I'm not
there.
dropping through a
You're not jumping through the table?
But I will fight on a dime. But I'll do that. I don't mind going up there and having a good time with Bills
people
fans.
Just lighting tables on fire.
Yeah, we could do one day about who do you think the most boring tailgates are, and it'd be like, I think Carolina is a boring tailgate.
Yeah,
I think there's no fun there.
I mean, you could probably throw the Titans in there.
Titans not
great.
Yeah,
yeah.
Falcons. I mean, I think does the tailgate go along with if you win games or not?
It probably helps for sure, but I do think there are some places, like certainly in college football, but even in the NFL, like. I mean,
right?
Like the Packers can be really bad. You're going to have pretty good tailgating when it comes to Green Bay.
Yeah.
Right? Like Kansas City, you're going to have pretty good tailgating when it comes to there.
Chase and I went to the Titans-Miami game Monday Night Football a couple of years ago, and they had strippers in the parking lot at the tailgates. And they were like, and it was just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's Miami, but they were full-fledged admitted strippers in the parking lot. And I asked Chase if he had $20. He didn't. So I'm kidding. We walked on, but it was like, this is all right. I get what tailgates at different places are, but
it's different.
I think for the most part, it correlates to how good your football team is.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing I'll say about these Buffalo people. You know, they went through the wilderness for a long time. Not very good.
Right.
Tailgates were still pretty solid up there. These people love their team. They do.
Can you imagine?
They do. If they could ever get it through their head that the Music City Miracle was in fact a lateral,
ain't gonna happen, brother. Ain't gonna happen. It's not. Any Bills fan's gonna forever say that was.
I think they've done like a sports science thing to prove this.
It
was a lateral. Yeah.
That's right.
But that's not good enough for him.
615. Tim Russert used to go. He's passed away now. The NBC political guy was like, that was an absolute forward pass. I mean, for years.
Really, all you have to do is watch it. It's pretty clear. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Celebrity birthdays coming up next to close out the show. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Final segment of the day, Robby and Rexrode, live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. And it is that time again with Big Joe Dubin in here for celebrity birthdays. Let's get it rolling here on the program today. Big Joe, here we go.
Here we go. All right, Robby, in honor of your golf, you get to go first today. How old today is golfer Scott Verplank?
62.
Scott Verplank. Not sure I've heard of this guy. 65.
67. Ian's on the board. You heard of him now. Ian, how old is Trent Green?
Oh, Trent Green.
Trent Green doesn't get injured in 1999. We never hear of Kurt Warner.
Give me 63.
I'll go 58.
56. Robby's on the board now. Robby, how old is our good friend, former MTSU NFL quarterback Kelly Holcomb?
I will go 52.
55.
53. Robby's up 2-1. And former Giants NFL coach Ben McAdoo.
Who's going first?
This is Ian. Sorry.
60.
I will go 64.
49.
Oh, crap. Sorry, Ben.
Good job, guys. Robby, how old is esteemed TV actor Jimmy Smits, who, by the way, was on the original Crockett's partner on Miami Vice?
I will go 78.
70.
71. We're tied at 2. You guys are doing great today. Ian, Tom Hanks.
68.
70.
70 exactly.
Boom.
Robby's up 4-2. Robby, Courtney Love, Kurt Cobain's wife.
64.
56.
62. Robby's up 5-2. Come on, Ian. I need you, buddy. Ian, how old is Jack White? Nashville guy.
Yeah, White Stripes. 52.
56.
51. 5-3. You guys have gotten every single one of these. Robby, how old is the lead singer for Simple Minds, Jim Kerr? He would like for you not to forget about him.
I will go 67.
Let's see. That sounds about right. 70.
67 exactly.
Boom.
Robby's up 7-3. Ian, how old is former Channel 4 newscaster John Tesh?
65.
82.
74. Robby, how old is Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary?
I will go 64.
70.
72. It's now 7-4. Robby. Ian, how old is Kelly McGillis? She was Maverick's girl in the original Top Gun. Also in a very good movie called Witness.
65.
I will go 68.
69. Robby's up 8-4. Robby, how old is Fred Savage?
I will go 72.
No, I'll go younger. 62.
50.
Good Lord. Sorry, Fred.
Savage, right? All right, this is for Robby. Ian, how old is Academy Award-winning actor Chris Cooper, who was in the movie The Patriot? That's not what he won Academy Award for.
He's the bad guy?
No, he's not. He was a good guy.
I'll go 70.
Patriot.
That's too old.
I don't know exactly this guy. 65. I don't know.
75 years old. With that, Robby, you win 8-4, buddy. Well done.
That's pretty good effort from both of us today.
Chris Cooper was also Ben Affleck's dad in the movie The Town.
Okay. Yeah.
That was in prison that he went and saw.
Yep.
Good actor. I forget what he won Academy Award for. Supporting, but he's a really good actor.
That's a lot of pretty good birthdays today on the show.
There's a ton more, but at some point it's kind of like, get it over with. So, but you won 8-4.
Thank you.
But I'm really disappointed. You thought Fred Savage was 72.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just,
from the Wonder Years.
I know.
And I think the last thing he did was
I apologize to Fred Savage and Ben McAdoo on the program.
Princess Bride?
Ben McAdoo was the one who benched Eli Manning, remember, for Daniel Jones and stopped
their streak.
That's right. It was like, what are you doing here? And
I mean, in all fairness, Ben McAdoo does look older than 49. I'll just put
It's the hair. Yeah. The
What's he
hair.
doing now?
He is a defensive assistant of the New England Patriots.
Oh, okay.
The Braves.
Not bad. Remember the 49ers coach who looks like McAdoo, Jim Tomsula?
Oh, yeah, the guy who sweat like just unbelievably everywhere.
And like played at MTSU for a year, or coached there for a year. I was like, that's the same guy? And then you last for a year, and it's like, okay.
By the way, speaking of MTSU, shout out to Brent Stockstill for going into the CUSA Hall of Fame. Yep.
Yeah. We talked about NIL back in the day, at the big leagues, but if NIL would have been back around when Brent Stockstill played, he made a fortune.
Yep.
Great quarterback. Took a beating and never quit. And then one of the greatest performances I ever saw, he blew his knee out in high school in the state semifinal versus Maryville, played the entire game. They almost won. He had a blown out knee and played because he wanted to be in the game for his teammates.
You know where he is right now?
He's defensive assistant for the Colts.
He is, quality assistant for the Colts.
There you go. It's a decent job, pays good, and you're in the NFL. But I really think one day we will see him back here in town.
I could see it. I could definitely see it. I mean, he's only 31, which
good
when
dude.
you think about it, makes sense. But only 31. Brent Stockstill.
Good dude too.
Great player at MTSU, but got inducted into or selected into the CUSA Hall of Fame. I think yesterday is when that came out.
That's right.
So saw that yesterday.
Are you in any Hall of Fames? Hendersonville High School?
I don't think I've made it yet.
Taylor Swift's Heart?
I'm in that Hall of Fame for sure.
Red Rooster Cafe?
In the Red Rooster Hall of Fame. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I should be in the Cracker Barrel Hall of Fame.
Why aren't we?
If they've got one. I mean, we could make one.
We should. Yeah. We put you in there. What's your favorite Cracker Barrel restaurant?
My favorite restaurant?
I mean, no, like location. Sorry.
Probably the one off Stewart's Ferry over here. It's really good.
It is really good.
It's really good.
Well, I like that because it's never really, to me, that crowded.
Yeah.
But that's a good one.
Hendersonville's used to be terrible, and they've got a new manager in there. It's unbelievable. Guy's done a 180.
Although I'm not a fan of the sweet old ladies who try to upsell when you're leaving.
Yeah.
You want some Mentos? No. What about a Fuzzy Bear? No. What about, do you want this Whistler? No. I mean, and they're finally like, look, I'll buy an Almond Joy. Just get off my ass. Get out of here.
A good selection of candy in there too.
Right.
I will say, I used to be able to just go in and out of there, and now with the 3-year-old, it's a little bit more complicated.
Oh yeah,
right? It's like navigating through a minefield.
They want to go to Cracker Barrel just so they can look through that shop.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and do that. My daughter, we used to go to the one that Stewart's Ferry one when she was young, and we would sit outside. After you eat, and you're sitting outside, and she'd walk out with stuffed toys. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I just grabbed these." I'm like, okay, we need to put these back in. Let's tell you why this is not a good idea, sweetheart. And then she would always leave stores with items like she'd pick on the way out. And I was like, oh man.
Our cute little shoplifter.
Right? Who's going to stop her? I'm not.
Yeah.
Your daughter comes to my Cracker Barrel and she's walking out with 4 things. I'm like, have a good day, sweetheart.
Just take it. It'll be fine.
No worries.
That's going to do it for us today here on the program. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. here on the show. Next Man Up with Jake Lyman is coming up next. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.